Hello. Hi, everyone. Oh shit! Wait, I just I adjusted my mic while I was on. Fuck. Hi, hello, everyone. How you doing? Hello, hello. No model today again, or at least not tracking because I'm gonna be showing webcam in a moment. So, no model tracking. How you guys doing? Hi, Kenny. Welcome to the stream. And Zematic, welcome. So are we in on the tribute rating with Kumu after No Nut November? Oh shit. No Nut November. Tribute. What kind of drawing would I have people tribute to? I don't know. Ma'am, I'm trying to watch Breaking Bad. I'm not stopping you from watching Breaking Bad, quite frankly. If you want to watch Breaking Bad, you can go watch it. You don't have to be here. Just saying. Don't do that to yourself. Focus on one thing. I can't multitask for shit. I really can't. No, sir. So. Okay. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? Do you guys collect figures? Anime figures? Just finished making my experimental filler for a special collaboration. Hell yeah, let's go, dude. I want to hear your thoughts about Paper Says Juice. Yeah. None of that fictional drug shit. We're talking about real ass fucking paper here. I never watched Breaking Bad. I should watch Breaking Bad, but I don't watch Breaking Bad. So, I don't know if y'all collect figures. But the topic we are discussing today came from this post. Came from this little post. So if you guys aren't familiar, Good Small Company. Let's check them out. Good Small Company. Hello. You probably saw their products around. Hey, Nendo. That's an Android. Oh shit. Is it because I'm on a private tab that like a lot of their stuff is not showing for me? Because right now I'm viewing Twitter through a private tab just to reduce, like, you know, some personal information popping up or anything like that. I don't want to bring up my account just in case. I don't know. I don't care about my hentai popping up. I don't care about my saved porn. That doesn't matter. I just don't want, like, my IP address or something shown for God knows how, for whatever fucking reason. I don't know. But I think because I'm not logged in, it's not showing me everything, which is pretty cringe. I think that's a stupid fucking thing to do. Like, look, what am I seeing here? Pinned a message from October 31st. Okay. October 25th is a top. Like, this is the first post that pops up. And that is not their most latest post, I'll say that. They posted quite a bit since this packaging post. But it's the first one to pop up, aside from, like, the pinned one, of course. But then you got another one from, like, June 7th? June 23? April 11th? September 2nd? October 1st? Bro. I wonder if it's just like they're showing the most popular, like, the most popular posts just to, you know, just to make the front page look nicer, or like, oh, here's the good post. This is what you're more likely to engage with. Maybe, right? Oh yeah, I mean, actually, maybe, yeah. 15k likes, 4.3 retweets, or quotes. 10k likes. 1.9 retweets, 9.6 likes, 1.7 retweets, 6.1. Yeah, it's directly like just going down in terms of like likes. Yeah, okay. So they're probably like, yeah, they're probably showing the top. Juice says that's how any media works. Yeah, that's fair, but I didn't know it, like, because if you follow something, you have your own account, you check Twitter, they showed it chronologically, right? To my understanding, unless I'm doing something wrong, unless I have my settings different. But now that I'm viewing this as like a private tab, I'm no actual user. I'm not a logged in person. I'm just a rando. It shows the top posts, which is something of note if you guys are used to using Twitter. Let's see. Which that's my main like social media platform. Hi Spaghetti, welcome to the stream. So yeah, so Good Small Company is like one of the top, like, I would say, like, most well-known like anime figure brands in Japan. They are like I think overall really great. Their quality control is pretty great. Overall, I mean their pop-up parade line has questionable product quality control. I don't know if they changed that, but overall, Good Small Company, one of the top figure brands in terms of like size, reliability, scale, figure selection. They're big boys. They're big boys. They have like multiple companies under them. They partner with multiple companies too. If that's anything. Like they partner with Freeing Furyu, I believe. But I can imagine a lot of companies probably look to Good Small Company for like ideas and inspiration. Like, oh, they're the top company, so they know what they're doing. If this is doing well on their end, then we can like take inspiration from it and whatnot, right? So, what we're talking about today is their packaging design, which on the surface one would think is a good change. The whole like plastic, we were taking out plastic and replacing with paper kind of thing. Like on a surface level, that sounds fine. But unfortunately, I think the one-to-one replacement of plastic to paper is not always like the silver bullet. It's not always like one-to-one. It's perfect, right? It's not always like the best option. I mean, like, granted, okay, this is based off like I'm a fucking huge ass tree hugger. Like sustainability, environmental science, or like earth science and all that shit. Environmentalism is like my personality, which I don't really display in my streams. It's something I have a lot of like interest in, and it's something that affects me on a daily basis in terms of like my actions on a daily basis. So I don't know. I saw this. I'm like, oh wow, this is an interesting little thing, right? So again, this knowledge that I'm talking about, like the information that I'm saying is like based off of like things I've learned through like years and years and years of just me being like into environmental science and all that shit, you know, lifestyle and all that jazz. So I could be wrong. I didn't study this shit on like a scientific or academic level, right? So, hi Kuma, welcome to the stream. I love you, Miss Jesus Kuma. Hi Kuma, I love you too. Thank you for joining for a bit. Yeah, I always keep the boxes for storage, some for display. You have to take the figures out every once in a while, though, or they get sticky. Yeah, basically, that's like, we'll get into that, but like the pros and cons, I guess, of like this like of like the plastic packaging. And I think the off-gassing from the figures, you know, the figures getting sticky and all, I think might be one of the pros when it comes to the paper switch. Maybe. Also, I feel like maybe Good Small Company also just did poor like execution in terms of announcing this information. So okay, what we have here, for those who don't know, for those who just don't have too much information, like what to go off of, Good Small Company tweet says, notice regarding change in packaging design. Nendoroid and Nendoroid basic products will soon feature redesigned packaging that will significantly minimize the use of plastic materials, reducing plastic consumption by up to 84% as compared to the original packaging. And you see here, oh, that's big. Wow, that's really zoomed in. Hello. There you go. So you see, that's kind of cut off. There you go. New packaging on the left, inner box material paper. Original packaging on the right, blister packaging plastic. It's kind of hard to see, but I'll show you guys in a minute what that blister packaging looks like. But that's the gist of the information given to us. That's the gist of the information given to us. And then, of course, we're not going based. They have more information from that tweet. Oh shit. Okay, there we go. There's a link on the tweet that shows more, because of course it's a tweet, so they can only show so much information. So we go on into the next one, the actual like little post about it. Notice regarding change in Nendoroid and Nendoroid basic packaging design. Thank you for your continued support of Good Smell Company products. This is to inform you about the upcoming change in packaging design and package size for Nendos. Affected brands, Nendoroid and Nendoroid Basic. Their Nendoroid Basic line, to my understanding, is very, very, very minimal. They don't have a whole lot of Nendoroid Basics. Nendoroids, they have like over 2,000 at this point. I'm looking at one of my Nendoroid boxes right now, and her number is 2,241. They have a whole lot of fucking Nendos, guys. They have it's a pretty long-standing brand. They've had this shit for a while. So I can imagine with every Nendo, they learn, and they learn to improve it and stuff. So it's been around for a while. Nendoroid and Nendoroid basic products listed below. Insert Nendoroid and Nendoroid basic products that we shipped after this listed. Affected products. Nendoroid and Nendoroid basic products listed below. Insert Nendoroid and Nendoroid basic products that will be shipped after the listed products. Nendoroid Kano. Yamanuchi. Who's Kano? I don't know who Kano is. Nendoroid Kurisu Makase 2.0. Nendoroid Taiga Isaka 2.0. Nendoroid Yoko 2.0. Seems like they're bringing back some old Nendos. They're remaking some Nendos. And this seems like a good opportunity for them to test out the packaging. That's what it looks like. Because this is all like... These three, the Kurisu, Makase, Taiga, and Yoko, they're all old Nendos that are released years ago, and they seem to be getting a remake. This is different from a re-release. So, I don't want to bring up too many images, because I don't have the fucking... I'm not fucking ready to bring up all these images, damn. But the 2.0 is basically a remake. A difference between there's a reprint, there's a re-release, and then there's 2.0s. I think most people are familiar with re-releases, where usually a figure company, they release like a batch of like products, right? Like they release one batch of like, I don't know, Kumo Nendos, right? And then like, time goes on, and then the Kumo Nendos just spike up in price just because like they're less readily available. And the aftermarket price spikes up, and people are like, yo, Good Small Company, yo, Kumo's Nendo was really, really expensive. Can you please like re-release Kumo Nendo because it's really expensive now, please, I beg you. So with enough demand, Good Small Company is like, wow, a lot of people want Kumo Nendos. Here, we're gonna re-release Kumo Nendos. Same exact thing, more often than not, same exact packaging, same exact figure. They're just remaking it, right? And then it goes out it goes out for sale, and it's at retail price. So the aftermarket price is no longer really fucking high because they made more products. A remake like the Kurisu Makase, Kurisu, and the Taiga 2.0 and Yoko 2.0, like I have highlighted here. First burp. Those are remakes, which is not often. This is like this rarely ever happens. It sometimes does. It's not common, but they're basically remaking old products. Older Nendos that, they're remaking and, putting a new coat of paint on and shit, right? I don't know if it's a new coat of paint. They're straight up remaking it. So, but it looks like they're getting they're being like the test subjects for this new packaging, which I'm like, okay, makes sense. You guys, like, it's a remake. The original Nendos are out there with the original packaging. So, they're like, okay, well, we're making the Nendo, so we're gonna try the new packaging with it, which is fair. I think it's not a bad decision. If you were to try out the new packaging on anything, I feel like it makes sense to like use it on like a remake of a Nendo. Oh, and the way that everyone freaked out made it sound like it was all the products. It says, yeah, it is like the thing is like how many of those people that responded on Twitter only read the tweet and didn't go further to the actual like article like it is here. Some people just read this tweet and like called it at that. But I can imagine if half, if not more of them, didn't actually read this. That's the internet for you. They take the article title and they go along with it. That kind of thing. It is what it is. Like that's its own issue, but that's it. It's what's happening. It's happening. I want one to come. Yeah, me too, dude. If we both had Nendos, we can display them together. That'd be fucking cute. That'd be so cute. I need a Nendo, guys. Anyways, okay. So unfortunately, There was... Hi, Sus. Welcome to the stream. No, hello. Let's see. Beep, 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 beep. Is that who I think it is? Is that who I think it is? Let me check Twitter. Not Twitter, Instagram. Oh, it is you! Hi, dude! Welcome to the stream! Hello! I'm assuming it's you at least. Hello! I remember your name and your face. I don't remember so much remembering your username, but that's you. Hi, dude. How you doing? Do they even make bratty Nendos? Kuma says Void. I'm sure they have. Just Taiga. They're remaking Taiga. I'd say she's a brat. No, we can make them kiss. Oh my god. You're so right. Give them like little heart hands. Like the little heart hands. Teehee, I'm well. Hell yeah. How you doing, dude? Oh, I already said that. You fucking answered that. Hi. Sweet. Hi. That's great. Love to see it. Love to see it. What am I checking Instagram for? Checking. Oh yeah, your fucking username. Good Smile Company. Guys, I would love to show you the quote retweets, cause it has quite a bit of quote retweets. I don't know if you can see it. 3,130 quote retweets and 1,000 retweets. They're getting cooked. They're getting fucking cooked in there, bro. They're getting fucking cooked. I don't know if cooked is the right word. People have a lot of opinions. People have a lot of opinions about this change of packaging. Which, you know, maybe if, like, you are, like, a casual, like, figure buyer, like, maybe you have, like, 1 or 2 Nendos, and you're like, if it changes, I don't mind. I just got the figure. That's what matters. Okay, it's cool. Which maybe if you're like that, that's, like, you know, you don't really care too much. Which I'm like, that's fine. You know what I mean? But... for people who have been collecting for a while, who like figure collectors and stuff, who like this shit, it is like a concern. It is definitely a concern. Hold on, my cat's at my door. Hold up, I gotta let her in. Okay, hello, I'm back. I would share the quote retweets, but I don't want you guys see this shit. Twitter's fucking cringe. Oh, don't miss what's happening. People on Twitter are the first to know. I have to fucking log in order to look at their quote retweets. So I'm not gonna do that just in case. I'm not looking to like blast my personal information on online. Hi, Pebbles. Pebbles is here. Oh shit. Oh fuck. Fuck. Hold on. Hold on. Pebbles here. I'll show you guys Pebbles. Hello. It's Pebbles. Pebbles is here. Hi, baby. How you doing? How you doing? She's here to bother me. She's here to make a mess of things. Right, baby? She likes being roughhoused with... She likes... my god, this fucking child. With my previous cats, I was so anxious about like any kind of harm happening to them. I step on their tail, I'm like, oh no, I'm so sorry. Or like they fall off from like the ledge of a couch. I'm like, no, are you okay? Oh my god, sweetie pie. This bitch fucking falls off shit all the time. I don't think she has like any idea. Well, maybe she does have an idea, she just doesn't fucking care. But she'll like lounge on the side of a bed or like a couch and like roll over and fall off. The amount of times she's falling off a couch or like a desk or something or my bed, so many times that at this point, if she gets kind of booped around, it's not too crazy because she boops herself. She gets into so many troubles. Wow. Oh, you like this? You like this shit, Pebbles? You like this fucking shit? Oh my. Let's see. So. Yeah, the crow retweets I would show, but I can't, unfortunately. So I'm just gonna try to read them off my phone. And you guys, I just have to take my word for it. Just take my word for it. Oh, someone crow retweet. Gotta be blunt. If you hate AI for the fact that it destroys the environment, then you should be welcoming this change. Plastics can take hundreds of years to decompose. Paper takes a few months. This makes a huge difference environmentally. Like, on a surface level, yes. Plastic takes a lot, like, they're like, it's potentially, every plastic that's ever been made might still be on this planet if it has not been, like, burned or some shit, right? These bitches take a long time to decompose, right? Paper, assuming it's under the right circumstances, can't go back into the ground, right? Can't go back into the environment. Again, under the right circumstances. If you have, like, a bunch of paper wrapped up in a plastic bag, like a plastic garbage bag, and you have it in the landfill, it's not going to properly decompose, right? Again, that's why I emphasize, like, proper environment. It has to be in the right environment to do that. Same thing with composting. You can't just, like, compost throw compostable, like, things into your trash and then expect it to decompose in a landfill. It has to be under right circumstances. Even more specific circumstances, if it's, like, industrial grade compostability or some shit. There's, like, products that are, like, home compostable, which means you can probably, like, bury it in the ground or, like, you know, like, break it apart, put it in your home compost, and it'll break apart and do its own thing. And then there's industrial level composting, which means they had to be sent up to a facility. Shit, sorry, my bad. They have to be sent up to a facility, like an industrial facility, with very specific circumstances in mind, like very specific temperature, this, and that, in order for it to compost. So, like, again, yeah. I said this as the stream started. Weebs don't recycle. I mean, it's like, how to describe it? I'm sure, like, they do. I'm sure they do, but in terms of, like packaging, like, if you're a collector, you're likely, like, you're keeping this shit, right? You're keeping this shit. You're likely not throwing away the box. Or even, like, you're not throwing it out to even recycle in the first place, right? You're keeping this with you. You just keep this shit. You keep it. I have all my shit, right? Like, there's that. I have all my fucking boxes. These aren't getting thrown out. Sans, yeah! I thought this was a gag. This is like this is my fucking gag Nendo. Right? This is okay. I keep everything. Camus says it's super hard to recycle where I live. Yeah, that's exactly another thing, right? It's another thing. Like, most of the time, a good chunk of the time, when you send out something to be recycled, it's at the whim of, like, it's at the whim of, like, accessibility and shit. Some people don't really have any recycling. I see, like, some places, like, I remember staying in a hotel. Like, when I was moving from one state to another, I stayed at a hotel for, like, a couple months because our home wasn't finished built. Oh my god, my cat's zooming. She's zooming. She's going crazy. She has a poofy tail! Pebbles, hi! Poofy tail baby, hi! Say hi to the stream. Show them your poofy tail. Come over here. Show them your poofy tail. Show them your poofy tail. That's not yours. That's I don't know how good that is for you. Poofy tail. Come on, show them. It's not poofy anymore. God damn it. But yeah, so, like, recycling is not even readily available to everyone. You can't just walk to a recycling plant, says Juice. What? You can't just do that, Pebbles? Unfortunately. Yeah, okay, so what I was mentioning is that I was staying in a hotel for, like, a couple months while my house was getting built, right? My parents' place, when I was still living with my parents. My parents' house was still, like, getting built. And I, as a fucking tree hugger, made sure to do my, try to recycle well. I'm like, okay, I rinse out my soda bottles. I rinse it out. I dry it out to make sure the inside's dry to make it easier to recycle. And I take off the liner of, like, the soda bottles, and then I put it in the recycling bin, right? And also, like, when it comes to pizza containers, I remove, sorry, like, I'm blocking my grapes from my cat. I remove, like, the contaminated parts of the pizza box, like the one that has, like, all the food stains. And I only recycle the parts that don't have any food stains. Because, to me, I could be wrong. Pebbles, please! She's stepping over my keyboard, baby! Stop it! Baby, please, stop it. Okay. But I believe, I could be wrong, that like paper that has like food stains on it, like if you have a pizza box and you got like a little food stains on like grease and shit on the paper box, that's not recyclable. Or if it is recyclable, it's much harder to recycle than like clean paper. So by having pizza boxes like with full of grease and all that shit being thrown into the recycling bin, it kind of contaminates the recycling batch, if that makes sense. Like if like you throw like those greasy ass pizza boxes into the recycling bin and it gets transported to a recycling facility, that just kind of dirties up that whatever batch of recycling material that they made, that they got from a bunch of people, right? And because it's contaminated, they just throw it out. Like, we can't make this, we can't make recycling, we can't make new products out of this. We can't properly recycle it because it's garbage. It's like, it's really difficult to maintain the quality of it because it's just full of fucking food stains. So they just throw it out. So like, that's the thing. And that's a whole other subject about like these pizza boxes being like, hey, please recycle. You know what I mean? You get like a pizza box from a company, and on the packaging, it's like, do your part. Recycle our boxes. And it's like, to my understanding, if they're covered in food stains, which they likely are, you can't even recycle them. They are very difficult to recycle because they're fucking damaged and shit. So it's like, it's like the whole recycling system is a whole fucking, it's a huge fucking issue, right? It's a huge fucking issue. Nick Nya says recycled pizza and I'm gonna eat it. Hayasa says, yeah, that's the worst feeling for real. Yeah, it's like you try to do good. You try to be like, you know, trying to reduce your environmental impact and be like, yo, I'm recycle shit, you know, I'm trying to do good, you know, the little I can. And it doesn't even fucking work because some of the recycling system is garbage. Anytime there's a conversation effort that has a message of do your part, there's largely propaganda to shift the blame onto the consumer. Yes, it is, yes. I believe the whole reason why recycling is a thing, and I could be wrong. Again, every time I mention like information, I could be wrong. Take it with a grain of salt, right? This is just based off what I've learned. I don't have like a whole list of sources that I can like fact check, right? This is just based off everything I learned over the years. But to my understanding, the whole recycling industry, at least in the US, I don't know about elsewhere, but in the US was, I believe, started by like a corporation to shift blame or I guess responsibility onto the consumer. Hi, baby. Oh my gosh, she's zooming. Jesus Christ, baby, chill. It was all meant to like push like responsibility on the consumer, not like Coca-Cola or anything for like producing like thousands upon thousands, if not millions of plastic bottles. No, we're gonna say Coca-Cola is like, no. Let's make recycling facilities so that people feel like they're responsible. They must recycle. I don't know if it's actually Coca-Cola, right? I don't know if they actually pushed for it, but apparently it was like a corporation push to start like recycling facilities to make people feel like they're responsible and shit like that. Which isn't to say like having a recycling thing to begin with is bad. I feel like it's good to have that in theory, but again, it's all execution and shit. It's very much execution, you know what I mean? Yeah, that sounds like a thing, tin hat theory, but it's not completely outside the realm of truth. Yeah, it is not. It's very much it's been a possibility. So pebbles. So how do I describe it? So let's say like, okay, that good small company goes through with this like, you know, decision, and they change out the packaging, the plastic packaging to paper. Plastic is recyclable. I feel like a lot of materials are recyclable if they just have the right resources, like the right industry to do it, like, you know what I mean? If it's sent to the right people with the right resources. But not everyone has that easy accessibility, you know, they don't know, like, not everyone has like their like local like plastic recycler. They're like, hey, Mr. Smith, like fucking plastic recycling guy, here's all my plastic, please make use of it, right? They don't have that shit. Same paper, okay. I would say that the original packaging of plastic, it can be more environmentally friendly if it's just made out of like recycled plastic. I feel like you don't necessarily have to convert to paper packaging. If you can just like, if you just make the blister packaging out of like recycled plastic, that's also an option. Recycled plastic is also an option, right? So they could do that. I mean, I don't know how like easily accessible they have to that material, and I don't know how well the recycled plastic bends to like make blister packaging. Like maybe they considered maybe they considered recycled plastic for their blister packaging, but it's just not the type of it just cannot like bend and shape to the way it wants for blister packaging. That's a possibility. I can't remove that possibility out of the picture. What do you guys think? What kind of figure should we remove? I mean, what kind of figure should we unbox so I can give you like an example of like plastic blister packaging? You want Monica, Marin, or Junko? We got one for Monica. One for Monica. These are all gifts from, I believe these are all gifts sent to me by, I believe, Army Bug. Thank you so much for the lovely Nendos. Thank you so much. These are all like packaged in like plastic. Not official plastic, but just like plastic I had laying around. Because I moved and I wanted to protect them while I was moving. We'll go 2 for Monica. 2 for Monica. And now I'll keep waiting for anyone else, any more votes on who we open. Pebbles! Aye! Pebbles! What did she press? She stepped all over my keyboard and did some shit. I don't know what she did. Hold on. Audio. Pebbles, please, baby. I'm going to remove you from the room. Thank God my roommate is here at the moment. So I can probably let Pebbles out and someone can watch her. Hold up. I'm gonna let Pebbles see. I'm gonna open my door and see if Pebbles zooms out. One moment. Okay, she zoomed out. Open the door, she zoomed out. So I hope nothing weird happened from that. I don't know what kind of hotkey she pressed. Nuclear launch codes. Okay. Well, it seems like everyone wants Monica, so we can just open up Monica. We open up Monica. Nick Nia says, but yeah, blaming us for throwing away pizza box, but they ride around in their private yachts that consumes fuel. Basically, yeah, right? They're like, hey guys, consumers, you guys are the problem. Yeah, they have they are the source of like all these like paper like boxes. They probably have the resources to be like, hey, we're gonna source these packaging from like, you know, 100% recycled paper, and also we're gonna make like some kind of like program and information to you know, tell these people how to properly recycle their shit, you know what I mean? How to increase recyclability of these products and stuff like that. I would say you can the companies can do a whole lot more good on their end. Does that make sense? Instead of like, because there's recycled material and then there's virgin material, right? If you get virgin paper, it's like you cut down a tree and you make the paper, right? But if you make something out of recycled paper, you take what's already existing and use it again for a new product, right? So a lot of companies I can imagine have the resources, or like at least these like big boys, they have the resources to potentially make, you know, make their packaging out of like recycled material. and whatnot, you know. And so they already did the hard work. They already did the work on their front end. You know what I mean? So whether or not the product gets recycled in the end is not as much of a burden because it's already made out of recycled material, right? And we're just talking the packaging. That's what people mostly focus on, is the packaging. Most of the environmental impact from a product is made from actually making the product itself. Like, you have to source all the materials needed for this product. You need to get, like, I don't know, if it's like a dress, you have to like grow the material. If it's cotton, you have to go to cotton, and that takes a whole lot of resources. That takes land, it takes a whole lot of water, it takes people to harvest and stuff, and then you have to like ship it off to like a processing plant to process the cotton and make it into like a usable material, and then you have to maybe ship it off to elsewhere to get it dyed, and then you have to and then you have to ship it off to like now make like fabric yards out of it, right? And then you ship it off to a company to cut it up and like sew it up into dresses and stuff, and then that gets shipped off to the customer in like a plastic bag, and the customer throws the plastic bag and like, oh wow, this one plastic bag is so wasteful, wowie, when they don't see like all the other resources needed to actually make the dress itself. So I'm not saying to Good Smell Company to change the way they make their Nendos and figures. If it works, it works. You know what I mean? For me, when it comes to when it comes to making a product, right, or buying a product, I like, okay, if it's made out of like recycled material, if the product itself is made out of recycled material, cool. But if that's at the expense of like the product quality, and it doesn't have a very long like lifespan, like it breaks down quickly and I can't use it again and I have to buy another thing to replace it, that's not that great in the end, even if it is recyclable, because in the end that's product that you have to like, you use up, it breaks, and you have to buy another thing to replace it, right? That's wasteful. So if it takes like virgin plastic to make a solid product that can last a long time, I'd rather that company just use virgin plastic than like recycled like paper or something, or recycled plastic to make this product if that recycled material breaks down easily, in a sense of like over its lifetime, not actually like post, like after throwing it out, but I mean like in use. If it breaks quickly and easily in use, then it kind of defeats the purpose of it being like eco-friendly, because it just, I'm bad at explaining shit. Like if let's say I buy this Monica figure out of plastic, and it lasts like my entire lifespan. She's maintained her quality and her structure. She's good. That's a great product. I would value product like quality and durability and how long it stands versus the material it's made out of. Because if I just need to buy it once, that's good. You know what I mean? If I don't need to buy it multiple times, I feel like that's an issue. Is having to buy it multiple times, right? In terms of like environmental things. Wow. Sheep parts into. Oh, I need a cardboard. So. Wow. Oh, she has a lot of parts. Fuck. Was this really the best example for like? Oh, shit. So. This is what we have here, right? The plastic, like this shit's kind of all over the place. Sorry, my bad. It's kind of all over the place right now. But this is the plastic blister packaging that they're planning to replace with paper. Right. And as we discussed earlier, like maybe they consider using recycled plastic for their blister packaging. Maybe that was an idea. But maybe they tested it and were like, yo, this like recycled plastic doesn't form, or it can't be manipulated in the way we want it to. Like you see like this, like, this inner packaging, right? This blister packaging. It's kind of like shaped to like specifically fit this, right? And it keeps the Nendo in place when in shipping, right? Which is good, right? We don't want to, like, by producing this plastic, this maybe potentially virgin plastic material, it keeps the product safe and in, like, a good condition, right? Because the Nendo itself likely takes a whole lot more resources to make than this one little plastic thing. If it takes like a little bit of plastic to maintain that quality and keep it safe, I would say that's good. Because what's the point of like spending all this material on making this product if you're gonna package it poorly and then it breaks down and it gets damaged? What's even the point? You know what I mean? That's just a waste. You know what I mean? So. So if like, yeah, so maybe their recycled plastic can't do this. So like, what's the next best option? Maybe paper. Maybe that's how we can do it. But also it's like, continuing reading this article. Changes. Oh no, we didn't read that far. Where is it? Here, right here. Nendoroid and Nendoroid basic products shipped after the above items will gradually adopt the new packaging design. Please note that not all products will be affected by this change. Thank you for your understanding. That's one thing that I feel like a lot of people would not be able to understand or know if they just read the tweet. They would have to actually read the article to understand that like not every Nendo is gonna be affected. I mean, they could like. I think it's good wording that they have there. Please note that not all products would be affected by this change. Thank you for understanding. This is good because they can like test it out. This gives them room to test it out. And if it doesn't do well, they can just don't use it at all. They can just like phase it out, right? Maybe they use it for like the Makise and the Taiga and the Yoko 2.0s and the Kano basic over here. They use it. They use the paper packaging for those Nendos. And if it turns out it doesn't work out in their favor, they're like, well, we just stop using it. Or we don't use it as much. We use it for very specific situations, right? So they left room for them to like move away from that decision. So it's not as like, as soon as Taiga and the Kurusu Makase and the Yoko figures come out, every single like Nendo in the future has purely paper packaging. That is not happening here. That's not happening. According to Good Smile. According to this article, if I'm reading it correctly, it seems like very specific. They're going to be very particular about how they use paper packaging and how much of it will be paper. How much of the Nendoroid box will be paper. How the fuck did I do that? Oh shit, there you go. Okay. My bad. So who fucking knows? Like, they could... In theory, maybe, in theory, remove this plastic window from this box and make it fully paper. And that's it. That's the only change they make. And they could keep the plastic. That could be a change they could do. Or, alternatively, here. Let's say they keep, you know, on the left, they have their, like, inner box material as paper. Let's say they change this out, make this all paper, and then keep the clear plastic window here. It's not all it's not all 100% paper. They specified it. They could be switching in and out of different material and shit. Let's see. The new compact packaging will reduce the use of plastic that was adopted for the original blister packaging design. And new packaging versus the original packaging. You can see this. And I think this is on Good Smile's end. I feel like they did a oopsie here. Because a lot of people assumed that the new packaging is just going to be purely blank. I feel like Good Smile Company could have printed like a placeholder image on the new packaging. Be like, you know, they can draw like, hold on. This is gonna be shitty. Okay. I need a pencil. No, I'll do pen. Where did my pen go? I was using it to play with pebbles earlier. Where the fuck did it go? God damn it. This pen? Is this a good pen? Fuck, I'm just trying to just explain something. Where's my pencils? There you are. Where's my pencil? There it is. I'm gonna draw it out real quick. Let's see, because what do they have here? The new packaging. Drawing it out real quick. Chotomate. Chotomate. Okay, so what they could have done, again, this is very rough, but I wanted to just get the idea across. Instead of like this blank ass box that you see on the the right, on the left, right, the new packaging, this blank ass box, what they could have done is maybe like draw like some kind of like placeholder image on it. Fucking guy 3000, Nendoroid number 3000 or some shit, but they put something there, right? It doesn't have to be an actual product. It could just be like the most generic ass looking guy just to get the idea across. They could have done that. I feel like that would have cleared up a whole lot of confusion. But again, sometimes you just live and learn for this kind of shit. Guy 3000, holy shit. Yeah, he's just a guy. He's just a guy. He's just a fucking guy. Let's see. How does it look like? Can I just zoom in? There we go. That's my original Nendoroid concept, guys. Don't steal. Don't steal. It doesn't even fucking focus. But they gotta put some kind of like placeholder shit. They gotta put some placeholder shit on there, and I feel like a lot of people would have like this. There'd be like less people hopping on their asses. You'd be like, wow, they're gonna replace the great Nendo print, like the packaging for this blank ass box. Like, no, I think they're probably gonna add some information on it. They're gonna print it specifically for that Nendo. I don't think it's gonna be fucking blank, but they just wanted to get the idea across, and I feel like they would have cleared up a whole. They would have created a whole lot less confusion if they just printed a temporary like placeholder image on that new packaging. It is what it is. You know, you live and learn. Maybe they learned from that. And in the future situations, they'll know to like add that placeholder shit. But so yeah, the blister packaging, plastic. My concern is like I'm looking at the inner box material, the paper one. How the hell is this gonna keep the Nendo safe? I mean, maybe we just aren't letting them cook. Maybe a good small company, they're cooking and we're just not seeing it. We just actually gotta wait for the food to be finished. We gotta let them cook and see how it is in the end. Maybe, but you know, plastic is very malleable, right? Plastic is so malleable. It can fit like, it can be very specific, right? Like you look at these curves and shit, they're very specific, right? So it keeps them in hold pretty well. How are you gonna deal with paper? Maybe I'm just not seeing it, right? Maybe they're cooking and I just can't see it. Maybe you just gotta wait until they're done and figure out from there. But like, this plastic keeps it safe. Good, right? We discussed it, we talked about it. If the product is kept safe and doesn't break, that's good. But if the packaging can't even protect the product, then it's even more wasteful than if you just use plastic to begin with, because you just ruin the item. And that's a whole waste. All the resources, all the plastic and dye and all the manufacturing, even the labor that goes along with it. If this shit falls apart, then it's kind of a waste, you know what I mean? It's kind of a waste. And if people want it again, they just buy it again. And then how long is that gonna last for? You know what I mean? Like, it's more environmentally friendly to buy maybe like one couch once, right? Buy like one couch that lasts your entire lifetime holy shit, that couch that gets passed down from like your grandparents onto your parents and onto you because it's such good quality furniture. That's very environmentally friendly because you don't have to make it again. But if you get like a cheap shit fucking like couch that breaks down within like a few years and you have to buy it again, that's fucking wasteful as hell. That's so wasteful. Anthony. So, I don't know. I guess we'll have to find out how great the paper packaging actually is. Maybe we're underestimating them. Maybe a lot of people underestimate Good Smile. Maybe maybe they have a lot of good ideas for how to properly like manipulate this paper, like do some origami shit to properly fit all those tiny little parts for every single new Nendo, right? Who fucking knows? I'm just skeptical, but that's coming from someone who's not involved in the process. You know what I mean? I'm not involved there. I'm not an experienced figure sculptor, package designer, and shit like that. I'm just a collector. And someone who's just really into like environmental shit. That's just what I am. I'm not you know what I mean? And this shit gets me. I mean, maybe they could just not offer this at all. Maybe this is a new edition, which if it's a new edition, that's cool, right? If they're adding like a little storage case as an additional thing for Nendoroids in the future, and it's not actually changing the existing like packaging in the sense of like it's not interfering with the condition of the product, I think it's fine, right? I think some people complained like, wow, this is such a great storage case. Thanks, Good Smile. Wow. And it's like, well, I mean, like maybe they just maybe didn't offer it at all. At least it's like an option, maybe, which, you know, maybe for some people might just be extra paper. Might be just wasteful because it might just be extra paper that they don't use. Because I'm like, why would you need the storage case if you already have the packaging of the Nendo itself? That's my question. See, like, I have this, right? It comes in the box. All my packaging, all the product is kept in there, all the parts. I don't need any extra packaging, right? I don't need any extra storage cases because it's all in here. You put it in the box, it's good to go, right? But like this part storage case, what? If you have the box, you don't really need that. I mean, unless this is appealing to people who don't like to keep the boxes for any reason. Maybe, you know, maybe that's who the audience they appeal to. And, well, good for them, you know what I mean? Maybe good for them. But it's like also like a, you're kind of trying to steer away from plastic to reduce waste. But then you're creating like little part storage cases, which may use up paper and ink. I don't know. I don't know what they actually have planned. But that's just my, like, big you know what I mean? Of, like, why do you need the part storage case if you already have the Nendo box with, like, the paper inner packaging? I don't know. A portion of the new paper packaging could be used as part storage case. I don't fucking know. Yeah, look, see, wait, that's how they did it. I didn't even know. I didn't even think about it. But look, guys, look. Sorry, hold on. I'm clicking around. But look, they did it. Images for illustrative purposes. They did the whole like guide 2,521. Oh, I'm assuming this is Kurisu. I'm assuming this is Kurisu. I'm looking at like the color and I'm looking at like the stand. I feel like this is the 2.0 Kurisu. But like, if you look at it. Image for illustration purposes, you see how it's in use, right? The part storage case. But for some reason, in the new packaging, they don't. And I don't know, maybe this is like a time thing. Maybe they were short on time for this announcement. But like, they're capable of doing it. Like, I mean, I think this might be an existing product. This might be the Kurisu. The Makise Kurisu 2.0 Nendo from Steins Gate. Makise Kurisu from Steins Gate, if you guys are familiar with her. But like, they do it here. They don't do it up here. I'm like, I feel like they could have done that. That helped a lot. Because imagine if they did like this part storage case and did not add in these parts, these little like head pieces, these little face plates and stand. What if they didn't add that there? That'd be a whole lot less. That'd be a whole lot more confusing. It wouldn't really it wouldn't really get the idea across. So yeah, that's interesting. Reason for change. As part of our efforts to reduce plastic waste, we have decided to renew our packaging design. The change of packaging will reduce our plastic consumption by 84% as compared to the original design. Important notes. As the new packaging design will be adopted gradually, a temporary mix of new and old packaging may occur. Please note that we will not be able to respond to inquiries about a different order we shipped with the old or new packaging. Oh, okay, so you can't, like, let's say, I don't know, Kumo Nendo comes out for pre-order, and you're like, oh, wonder, does this Kumo Nendo come with, like, old or new packaging? It doesn't seem like you can, like, email Good Smell, be like, hey, Good Smell support, customer support, does this Kumo Nendo have the old or new packaging? How much of the new one is it? Like, they can't answer that, apparently. Okay, that's fair. I guess that became a whole issue. You're like, you get what you get. You just get it when it happens. Sorry, you can't answer. You just find out when it releases. Batches of the same product / identical character / identical product number that are shipped at the same time will not contain different packaging. Oh, okay, I see what they mean. So people concerned, let's say I were to order Monica. If she has some plastic and some paper, and that, you know, that's how it is. Every single shipment of Monica in that batch will be the same. It's not like some like copies of Monica will have like paper packaging, like, and then some others will have like plastic blister packaging. It's all gonna be the same. Yeah, it makes sense. Like a manufacturing like streamlinability thing. You know, having two different packaging sounds like it would be like a logistical issue. It'd be like a logistical, like, extra headache. So it makes sense that they would, like, keep it the same throughout. For re-release products, please note that the same product, identical characters, identical product number, may contain a mix of old and new packaging. Let's see. There's like a little blip. For example, products from the original run in November 2023 contain the old packaging, while the November 2024 released version may contain the new packaging. Okay. So what I'm understanding is that, like, when did this Nendo release? Like 2022? This Monica. Plastic packaging here. Plastic window here. Released around like 2022, 2023-ish, I believe, right? And let's say she gets a re-release in 2025. They could potentially change her packaging in the 2025 release. 2025 re-release is what I mean. So, if you want the plastic packaging, you may have to go buy the original, like, copy, I guess, versus the re-release. That's my understanding. That is my understanding. Please note that due to the size limitation of the new packaging, certain products may require assembly upon delivery, depending on the design. Products such as Nendoroid Yoko 2.0, Hatsune Miku series Nendoroids, etc., where the joint parts included in the head parts. Such products require assembly for the head and her hair parts. To prevent shrinkage of the joints, a spare joint for head parts will be added. Ah, I see. Okay. So, my guess... Again, a guess is that maybe... Let's get you out, Monica. Let's get you out, sweetie. Come on out, girly! Maybe, instead of her, you know... arriving kind of complete, right? She's ready to display. Like, you just gotta, like, plop her on a stand, you know, take out her plastic packaging, and she's good to go, right? But maybe with the new releases of shit, maybe she's gonna be, like, taken apart in, like, multiple ways, right? This is my understanding of it, right? So maybe with the new packaging, she's just gonna come with her head here, body here, pigtail here, and then when you get her, you have to put her together, as opposed to her coming out of the box like almost ready to display. Like you just have to stop her on a stand and she's good, right? And remove plastic packaging, but you know what I mean. You get the idea. That's my guess of how it's gonna. That's you know my understanding of how shit might happen. So. Oh wait, hold on. Put her back. Sorry for taking you apart, Monica. Ah! I fucking hate it. Sometimes I really hate parts because like it takes a lot of force and you're scared of like potentially breaking it from all that force, but oh, please. Ah! Stop it. There you go. Okay. There we go. Okay. So. Wait. What else do we have? I think that's the end of the little article, right? Good Small Company aims to continue to renew the Nendoroids series to make it more user-friendly for all. Additionally, the environmentally conscious product development, we are committed to contributing to the realization of a sustainable society. Plans to renew the support arm, base, and joint designs for the Nendoroid series products are also in the works. I think that's cool. Plans to renew the support arm, base, and joint designs. I think that's cool. Because you just kind of saw what happened here where I was struggling to like put together, you know, when you saw me struggling to put her hair inside, right? I mean, I don't know if that's the joints that they're working to improve. But if the improvement is good for the overall product, I feel like that's good. That's a good change that, you know, we'd like to see. Just general improvement to the product. That's great. You know what I mean? You guys improving the product. Cool. Wow. Sugoi. Shige. Once the details of the new designs have been finalized, we'll inform you via the Good Smell Company online store and other channels. We hope they will find this information helpful, and thank you for your continued support of our products. Good Smell Company. So, okay, yeah, so that's what it is. That's the gist of it. And I don't know if I'm gonna remember all the points for like the pros and cons of the shit. So some of the ones I have marked down, I wrote these notes right before the stream, so I might not include everything. But one of the pros I wrote is that if it's like, you know, some of the plastic is like replaced with paper. Paper generally is more recyclable in the sense of like there are more facilities out there to recycle paper than plastic. So if people have more accessibility to facilities that recycle paper, they're more likely to recycle it, right? Let's say you live in a state or like in a county in the US that doesn't have very good recycling facilities or doesn't have any at all, or maybe they don't really give out a whole lot of recycling bins throughout the area. You can do as much as, you know, you try your best to recycle. But if like all the recycling if there's no recycling bins in your area, or they just, you know, you throw it in the recycling bin and then like the trash collectors just throw the recycling in the trash onto one area, into one compartment, and it's like, what's even the point? So at least, you know, maybe it increases the chances of the packaging getting recycled. Which I'm like, if you are a collector, chances are you're probably going to sell this, right? You're not going to throw away the figure if you want to get rid of it. Chances are you're going to sell it. Because the thing about figures is that they're collector items. So the secondhand market for figures is like pretty great. People likely won't throw it out. They will likely sell it. And that's the nice thing about figure collecting that is very environmentally friendly. That maybe like clothing or other things may not have as much, right? I mean, we have thrift stores. I spat when I said that. Oops, my bad. I hope I didn't spit on the figure. Like, we don't really bat an eye when it comes to like secondhand sales of anime figures, because it's so common to do secondhand sales versus maybe like other products. Maybe they don't have secondhand sales as much, like computer peripherals, like maybe like a keyboard, like this keyboard or mouse. Maybe buying secondhand is not as common. You know what I mean? I mean, I got my keyboard secondhand, but I got this mouse new just because it was a sale. I won secondhand. The last time I got this mouse secondhand, it broke down. I don't know if it's because it's secondhand that it has a shorter lifespan. But anyways, you know, but figures have a lot of like, you know, people sell. People probably aren't throwing this away. So like, I mean, even if people sell it to each other and like it has a very strong secondhand market, the plastic has been made, right? This plastic, it's been made. Like, it now exists, right? Even if I sell this to someone else and they sell it to someone else, and it gets passed down to like 3 different owners, in the end, this plastic still exists. And it still has to be like broken down at one point, right? It has to be thrown out and broken down, and maybe it just exists on the planet. Which may not be the case if like this is made out of paper, right? Which people probably have more likely chances of recycling this as paper. But my concern with the change in the change of packaging is that if you can see with the new packaging, there's no fucking window to tell what you get. There's no window to tell what product you're getting. And guys, maybe if you buy it from an authorized like seller, like I don't know, Crunchyroll, AmiAmi, Tokyo Otaku Mode, Hobby Search, you know what I mean? If you buy it from like or big bad toy store, if you buy it from a good like, you know, approved seller, like a trustworthy one, fine, great, you know what I mean? It's great. But when it comes to secondhand sales, how the fuck am I gonna know that all these pieces are included unless I check it? Which maybe in person you might be able to do. You know what I mean? And maybe if you go to a convention, you go to like a swap meet, and maybe you open up the box and be like, oh yeah, all the pieces are inside. Yep, yes, got it. Maybe you can do that, but that's one extra step needed to make that purchase. You know what I mean? The easier it is for the audience or the consumer to see what they're getting, the less friction needed, less steps needed for them to see what they're getting, the more likely they are to make the purchase, right? Like, let's say you're sitting down on the couch and like, I don't know, you notice, oh, there's a little stray stray fucking like thread on like your sleeve or some shit. And you're like, I want to cut that off. If you had scissors right next to you, like on the side table next to the couch, if it was like right next to you, you just do it, right? You just grab the scissors, cut the little thread off, and you're good. But if you had to go out of your way to like maybe go to like upstairs or go downstairs in your house or to another room to grab a pair of scissors, you know, dig through a drawer, grab it, and then cut it off, you're less likely to actually do the thing, right? That's the same thing with like purchasing with items, right? If the consumer has to do more things to get the item, they're less likely to get it. So by having to like go out of their way to open up a box and dig to make sure all the parts are there, they are less likely to buy the item, right? So this discourages secondhand sales, which I think is bad, because people being able to like sell a used product and give it a new home, that in and of itself is good. Circular economy and all, great. You know what I mean? They don't have to produce a new Nendo. They don't have to use all the new plastics to make, like, you know, the PVC plastic to make this figure. They don't have to get new dye. They don't have to make a whole new box. They don't have to use up fossil fuels to ship the Nendo to the new owner. If I want to sell this to someone, I package it up, I ship it off to the person, they get what they get, right? That's great. Nothing really new needed other than, like, you know, maybe like a plastic bag to keep this safe. Maybe like packaging, like, you know, like a shipping box and some paper to keep it from like rattling around the box. And then the fossil fuels needed to ship this new figure to the new owner, right? That's all that's needed. So if the new box, sorry, I need to figure out a way to like not let this thing shake, my camera shake. But if this new box like prevents that shit, it discourages secondhand sales, and people like, oh, I don't want to buy it secondhand because I don't want to potentially get like a bootleg, the wrong item, or maybe not all the parts included. Just buy it new. Just buy it new, right? So that kind of like takes a step back from being environmentally friendly. Instead of buying secondhand, you just buy new. Which even then is also like, these are figures. I don't know if you guys, for some of you collect figures, figures have their availability is not the same as like a standard product. Like if you were to buy a game from like Target or Best Buy, GameStop, like US, I don't know how readily available these shops are outside the US. But oh my god, I want to buy Paper Mario 1000-Year Door for the Switch. Oh, it's not available at my Target. It's sold out. Oh, I'll just wait a bit and they'll restock it. And you can kind of count on copies of this game to be remade and resold, right? They're continuous. They're gonna be there. Figures, they kind of they seem like they're made in batches, and once they sell out, they're sold out, right? You can't buy them new anymore. The only opportunity to be able to buy them is like from third-party sellers, like people who bought from it when it initially released and now are selling on their own, right? Like me, for example, you can buy this from me. This Monica Nendo, you can buy this used, like secondhand, but you might not be able to buy new straight from Good Small Company anymore. So the fact that like they're not only discouraging secondhand sales, but if you want to get like, make sure you get the product in full, you have to buy it from the store, buy it brand new from Good Smell or Ami Ami or something like that, trusted sellers. But like even then, figures aren't readily available. They're only on the market for so long. I mean, some figures stay on the market for a long time, like the Korone Inokayu, like pop-up parades and Nendoroids, still selling to this day. That shit, I think that shit's been out for a couple of years now, about at least a year. So, but they're still selling brand new on Good Smell Company's US site. So that's fine, but that's a very rare situation. Most often, once these guys are out, they're gone until they get re-released, and they're up and you can buy them new again from like Good Small Company or like Ami Ami, but not great. So that kind of defeats the purpose of the whole environmental thing. But not only environmental, but also like, what do you call it? Because environmental, because of secondhand sales, but also just makes it more difficult to purchase a product overall, to make sure you know you're getting like an authentic thing. Which is like also, again, another issue that you know, that's a thing in the figure collecting market. Bootlegs. There's so many fucking bootlegs, guys. That's a huge issue. If you like Google, like, oh, anime figure collecting for beginners, you know what I mean? If you look up a YouTube video, look up an article, or like, you know, like a blog or like tweet or some shit, you know, about like, you know, tips for people just getting into anime figure collecting. Most often, those guides are gonna be like bootlegs. How to avoid bootlegs. Bootlegs are an issue. Follow these steps. Keep an eye out for these little details to avoid a bootleg. They're so common with anime figures. So by removing like this window, you can't immediately tell. Like, I mean, like you know, when this okay. So you see her here, right? You see her here. You can kind of like look closer and be like, take a look through the window and be like, oh, that sculpt looks off. That painting looks off. Her eye is like in a different zip code from the other eye, right? That looks like a bootleg. But if you completely remove this window and make it just a blank, like, you know, paper, and you can't see the inside, like, you know, the new packaging on the left, even if you print like an image of the Nendo on it, you don't actually see the product inside. And I think that is where bootlegs are going to thrive more. It's going to be so much more difficult to determine whether or not it's going to be bootleg. And you know what I mentioned about like when we go to conventions, maybe like a swap meet, and we're like buying a secondhand Nendo, when like, oh, well, you can, people argue that like, oh, well, you can still open up the box and check to make sure all the pieces are inside, which I'm like, yeah, but again, with the whole like extra step needed to make the purchase, but also like, that's a very specific situation, right? You have to go to like maybe like a swap meet where they allow you to open up the box. And even then, it's like, how many people are gonna open up the box, right? And like potentially like damage it a bit. Hello, Petro. Welcome to this. Well, thank you for subbing. How many people are gonna get like their hands on it and open it up and check the Nendoroid to make sure all the pieces are there, and put it back and be like, no, I don't want it. You know what I mean? If I go to like a swap meet, how many people's hands have touched it? You know what I mean? Hold on, I gotta sneeze. Sorry. But like, yeah, let's say I go to a swap meet and I want this Junko Nendo. I see a seller selling this Junko Nendo and it's secondhand, opened. I'm like, wow. Let me double check to make sure all the parts are inside. So I open it up, dig through it, put them back, and then give it back to the seller like, oh, sorry, I kind of don't want it. How many times are people going to do that before someone comes along and buys it? You know what I mean? Versus if I look at this, I'm like, okay, I don't have to open it. I just look at the window and be like, oh, everything's inside. It seems like it. Okay, cool. I'll get it. So it kind of like damages the box. So I feel like, I don't know, man. I see like these people, they make like these things about like these arguments of like, yeah, just open it. You know, just open it. Just see if all the items in there. It's no big deal. Or like, why do you guys have it? Why do people have it like, you know, have their Nendoroids like boxed? You're supposed to take them out of the box and display them. It's like, well, yeah, that's the intended purpose, but some people keep them in the box, and that's not bad. That's not why are we shaming people for keeping their figures in the box? Like, especially if they don't have the space for it. Like, sometimes they just want to, like, you know, they just want to have it here. They just want to, like, you know, put it on the shelf. Like, you know, put it on the shelf. Just place it on the shelf and look at it. That's cool. Like, why are we shaming these people from doing that? It's their purchase. They bought it. And also, it's like, you don't have to dust them as much. Sometimes they're just like, yeah, I have it. It's cool. And, like, even with the packaging here. The nice thing about Nendoroid packaging is that, like, you can see the product. Nendoroid packaging. Okay, when it comes to anime figures, right? One of the most recognizable packaging for figures, I think, is Nendo's. Like, once you see a Nendo box, you know it's a Nendo. Like, you know, oh, it's a good small company Nendoroid. You see it, immediately register in your mind, that's a Nendoroid. Versus other, like, packaging from, like, companies, like prize figures. Like, they come in a lot of different designs and whatnot. And it's like, okay, you look at the box, like, oh, what is that? You get up closer to it, like, oh, it's a prize figure of Akane from Oshinoko. Like, okay, cool. But you don't know immediately who the company is, right? Like, you have to get a close-up look and be like, oh, here's what the figure looks like. And maybe you look for, like, the little, like, company name in the corner. Be like, oh, it's made by Furyu. Okay, cool. But you see this box. Guys, you see this box and you immediately know it's a Nendo. No second guessing. That's good branding. That's some solid branding. If someone can immediately tell what it is, it's recognizable. Also, thank you, Sai. Thank you for saying bless you. Thank you so much. But, like, you can tell. Look at this shit. It's so recognizable. Nendoroid packaging is good. You see it. You know it's Nendoroids. So, this shit's solid. So, like, the packaging looks nice. I feel like when people are kind of, like, shaming collectors for, like, keeping their figures in their box, and be like, oh, you're supposed to take it out. Oh, it's resellability. It's like, well, the box looks nice. Are we gonna, like... I feel like that's, like, kind of, like... What do you call it? Like a kind of backhanded compliment? Or, like, a backhanded, like, kind of... Not backhanded compliment, that's the right word. But kind of like a jab at, like, the product designer. In a way, you know what I mean? It's, like... The fact that the product designer, or the packaging designer did such a good job of, like, designing this, and the fact that people, like, are satisfied with this being displayed as is... I feel like it means, like, the packaging designer did a good job. And for people, like, knocking on, like, figure collectors being like, why are you displaying in the box? You should have it out. It's like, well, this is nice. The person that designed this did a good job. You can display it as is. You know what I mean? Versus, like, prize figure, like, boxes. Which, I don't have any examples of a prize figure box. I don't collect prize figures. But prize figures, you know, if you just keep them in, like, the paper boxes, it's like, you can't really properly get it's like, it's not it's not the best. It's not the best way to display them. The fact that you can display an Nendoroid like this and be satisfied with that, I think that's a good thing. I think that's a good thing. I think it's good. I need to look at the quote retweets on my Twitter, on my phone, because I can't check quote retweets on fucking private tab. It does this shit, which is cringe. Oh hell, you guys can see it like this. I can go to the tweet. I can't go to the Good Small Company tweet and look at quote retweets directly from private tab. I had to log in. I'm like, what the fucking cringe? So now I have to look at my phone. I had to look at my phone to look at the fucking quote retweets for this figure. Where'd it go? Oh, it's this, what, third burp? Hello? And one can argue like, oh, well, don't fucking like, you know, it's kind of a losing battle to just go through retweets and get angry at people on Twitter, which is like, yeah, but I mean, for the sake of this stream and talking about like how people are responding to this packaging, I feel like it's good to go through quote retweets because we can see how people like are making arguments of why like this packaging does well, why it doesn't do well. Let's see. Alright, here's one person that Crow retweeted. If you're against AI art, or just AI in general, then you should be overjoyed about this. Seems like many people are selective about when to support environmental initiatives, which seems pretty performative. Find a new way to store your figurines. The environment is more important than your collection of plastic. Which is like, I feel like that is also like, I think we're missing. I think too many people, when it comes to environmental shit, they focus too much on the packaging. They focus way too much on the packaging. Most environmental impact of a product comes from the product itself. And if this packaging does not properly protect the product, then that's more of an environmental burden than using a bit of plastic to make sure it gets properly protected. And this person, oh, the person continues. Okay. Also, if you can afford a Nendoroid, you can absolutely afford a long-lasting collector's box for it. Believe it or not, less than half the people actually keep their Nendoroid box in the original box. Usually they're taken out and displayed. This is a great way to reduce waste. Anyway, I've been muting this now. Remember that modern civilization is responsible for 74% or more of the animal species going extinct. Although plastic toys are not worth the earth being destroyed, demand actions from multi-billion-dollar corporations like Amazon to be responsible. I mean, it's like, at that point, our little plastic toys are not worth the earth being destroyed. I feel like there are, okay, with that kind of argument, I feel like there are more effective ways of impacting the planet than some collector products. I don't know. It's like, let's see. Let me read this again. Also, if you can afford an Nendoroid, you can absolutely afford a long-lasting collector's box for it. Believe it or not, less than half of the people actually keep their Nendoroid in their original box. They're usually taken out and displayed. I'm looking at Twitter. I'm going to Twitter on my phone, right? That's what I'm doing. And I'm like, okay, yes, we take out, like, more often, people, like, often when they buy these figures, they take them out of the box and display them, right? But what about when you want to resell the figure? What about when you move? You know what I mean? I like to keep my boxes because I moved around a lot of times through my life, right? And it's really nice to have these boxes because I don't have to have a headache when it comes to like you know, packages up and transporting them and make sure they come back in one piece. I put them back in their I put them back in their blister packaging. I put them back in the box, and then I, like, you know, wrap it up in some, like, you know, plastic packaging like I did earlier to make sure, you know, to reduce the water damage. And then I package it up to make sure it's safe. Good. So I feel like packaging is really important here, because packaging determines how well this product gets protected. So I feel like we're kind of, I feel like that kind of argument is kind of like I feel like it's very demeaning. I feel like, I mean, it's Twitter. You know, a lot of people talk, you know, they argue, they like, you know, they assume bad faith. They assume ill will. So, if someone suggests, okay, this person has tweeted, I don't know if I want to add their name. I don't know how great that is. But basically, they're like, in the little tweet they have here, they're like, also, if you can afford an Nendoroid, you can absolutely afford a long-lasting collector's box for it. Are they assuming? Are they like suggesting to buy another box? Because that's more waste. That's another item that you have to. That's more resources you have to meet to what? That's more resources. If they're saying this comes in a plastic and this comes in a paper box, and if you really want to protect this Nendoroid, buy another box. I'm like, that's one more thing you have to buy. That's more material used. So I feel like the argument is kind of like, eh? I mean, maybe there's more to it because it's a tweet. At the end of the day, it's a tweet. So maybe this person has more of an argument to say why. Because, like, okay. If someone really okay, let's say if all this is made out of like paper, right? Maybe I can't really describe this. Maybe the environmental impact of one like nice quality box for one collector is significantly less than if all these Nendos of every Monica like Nendoroid was made with paper packaging. Maybe if every single Monica Nendoroid was made with plastic packaging, that would heavily like fuck, I can't explain. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at explaining shit. It's like the whole like one cotton tote bag is maybe around the equivalent resource cost of like 1,000 paper bags or something like that. So maybe the argument has like some good like points to it, and the fact of like maybe if every Monica Nendoroid was printed with or was made with paper packaging, one collector here and there buying a nice collector's box for their figure, it won't like counterbalance it, right? It won't counterbalance the resources used to make all this. I can't explain shit, but you know, maybe in a way she's right, or this person posting that is right. But it's like, again, we're hyper fixating on the packaging, and I feel like that's not great. I feel like good. It's you know, it's out of a good place. You know what I mean? It's not the people that are arguing this, that are like, oh, reduce the plastic. It comes from a good place. They're caring about the environment, right? But as someone who's done a bit more research into it, the packaging is like one of the least like resource intensive things compared to like actually making the product. The product takes most of the resources, so we need to protect. I would say, if it takes a little bit of plastic to protect the product, use that little bit of plastic. You know what I mean? Then someone else responded. Someone else retweeted. Good small company really telling resellers to get a real job. I'm here for it. I'm like, okay, are we talking about like resellers as in like people that buy like stores that buy the Nendos and then resell it sealed for like a markup? Okay, fair. That's fair. But also like secondhand collector. Like me as a collector of these figures, I take good care of them. I try my best to take care of them. What if like one day I'm like, you know what? I don't want to sell these because these ones are kind of gifts. But like this Dorothy Nendoroid, I spend my own money on, right? I'm like, you know, one day I don't want this Dorothy Hayes Nendoroid anymore. I got my fill of her. I got my fill of this Nendoroid. It can go to a better home, right? I sell her on the secondhand market. I sell to someone. Is that a crime? Is that wrong? I'm assuming this person, by selling, like, by them dunking on resellers, I'm assuming they mean like stores, right? I'm assuming they're not talking about like me, a consumer, selling this to another consumer, right? But it's like, ugh. Okay, here's another person. What the fuck is this? How the fuck will anyone know what's inside the box? Who was a dipshit? mentally challenged person who thought was a good idea. I'm like, yeah, like that's okay. A bit strong. A bit strong. This quote which I'm reading is a bit strong. But yeah, like, again, bootlegs. Bootlegs are so strong. Like, there's so many bootlegs in the anime figure collecting world. It's concerning how much easier it is for bootlegs to get away with this. Like, not get away with this, but like how much more difficult it is to find an authentic product without the window. Which maybe in the future with the Nendos, maybe they'll keep the plastic window and like, you know, replace the plastic blister packaging with paper. Maybe you can still see it. The window, if you keep the window, it's good, right? A lot of people want the window still there. Me too. I want the window there. That's good. Please keep the window there. I beg you. That's what we want. Keep the window. And another person another quote retweet. Did you guys know keeping your toys in a box actually fucks them up because the plasticizer fumes have nowhere to go? Here's another good point. I feel like, which is one of the pros with the paper packaging, is I feel like maybe, okay, because if you aren't aware, Nendos, I don't know if it's like all plastics, but specifically for like, at least with like anime figures and Nendo, at least I think Nendos particularly, I don't know about other anime figures, but I feel like it's probably the same. But with Nendos, they're plastic, right? They're PVC plastic. When they like over time slowly kind of off gas. I think it's something to do with like the plasticizer in it, right? Some kind of ingredient in the plastic in the material that kind of off gases. And if you buy like an old figure, like an old Nendo, and you take it out of the box and you notice it's kind of sticky, that is because the off-gassing of the Nendo gets caught, it gets trapped inside the plastic, and it kind of like sticks to the figure itself. So old Nendoroids, more often than not, they're probably going to be sticky when you take them out of the box and you have to like wash it up and whatnot to remove it. So I think one of the pros of like the paper packaging is potentially maybe it won't retain as much of the off gas. You know what I mean? It won't off gas as much. So I feel that could be a potential good thing. I don't know. I don't know. But that's my guess of like a theory of maybe like, oh, maybe this would help with the off gassing. I don't know. I mean, I don't doubt it might still be kept in the box, but maybe because plastic is like plastic, it really like has a solid seal. But paper is more like breathable. So maybe it won't off gas as quickly, or like it won't capture as much off gas. I don't know. That's my guess. That's one of the like, potential pros of paper packaging, I guess. Another person quote retweets. I also collect a few figures. This is a good thing actually. But y'all care about some toys rather than the planet. Like Jesus fucking Christ. You know, it's one thing, in my opinion, it's like one thing to like be against something. It'd be like, but it's one thing to like kind of be ignorant and also dunk on someone with that ignorance. Like, okay, it's coming from a good place. Again, I feel like it's a flaw of just, you know, people not knowing any better. Or not knowing more. I mean, I could be wrong too. But it's like, we're all focusing on the plastic. Again, we're focusing on the plastic here. If you want to reduce if you wanted to reduce your earth footprint, less purchases altogether. If you really want to reduce your environmental footprint, just buy less shit. Honestly, just buy less shit. You know what I mean? And it doesn't have to be one or the other. I know there's an argument. Like I don't mean to put an argument of like, well, it's 0 to 100. I'm not saying like you can't like. How do I describe it? It's either you keep the plastic packaging or don't buy the item whatsoever. It's 0 to 100. You know what I mean? Which I think is like counterproductive. I feel like you still can make a product more like, you know, less destructive to the planet. And still purchase the item, you know what I mean? Does that be 0 to 100 kind of thing? But I feel like that is also something that a lot of people maybe don't mention. I feel like is also a good thing to mention. But the plastic packaging, it's like, well, just don't buy the item at all. I think that's a conversation to be had of like, just don't buy shit at all or buy less shit. That's so much less wasteful than like a few plastic things here and there. I don't know. A few. I don't see. Okay, that's. I feel like that can be taken out of like that can be taken. Not out of context, but demeaning or like downplaying the situation. I say not a few plastic, right? But I feel like buy less shit. If you want to reduce your environmental footprint, one of the things you can do is buy less shit. Buy less shit. I fully get you, Mishy. Nod says pumpkin. Thank you. Thank you. Again, these people that come, you know, the concern for the environment comes from a good place. But I feel like the way that they're kind of talking down to figure collectors that like oh, we want to keep the boxes. I feel like, well, like you kind of like I feel like it's not exactly, you know, plastic packaging is not the best, like it's not where most of the waste comes from. So you have to act like that to other people. I feel like it's kind of which not to say it like I'm not guilty of, but I don't know. There's too much negativity in the world. There's too much negativity. Someone mentioned, has anyone in the replies considered taking them out of the box? You can actually move them around and put them in cool poses. It's cool. You should try it out. I feel like a lot of these arguments are very like short-sighted, right? Like, yes, you can take them out of the box, but I feel like April loves cats. Thank you for subbing. I feel like that's very short-sighted. I feel like when thinking long game, right? Think about the long game of like how these products are protected. Because of the plastic packaging, because of the box, because they're so well protected. I can sell this again. I can sell this to someone, right? Secondhand. I can sell this to someone secondhand. They can sell it to someone secondhand, and they can sell it again because it's kept so well, right? Which means like I don't know how well the paper packaging will do. But that's the thing. It's like also the moving aspect. It's not like as soon as someone buys this thing, the box is no longer useful because they're always gonna have it displayed. But what if they need to package it away? What if they need to put it away into like storage for a bit because I don't know, life changes. Life changes can fucking happen, you know what I mean? Maybe like I don't have the space for this Nendoroid, and maybe I need to temporarily put it away, and I'll make sure all the pieces stay intact. As someone who cares deeply about this earth, the way humans live on this planet is broken. So no matter what we do, we're supporting something we don't want to. I feel so. I can't. I fucking read. I'm struggling to read that. Ito. You have to be realistic, says Pumpkin. I'm trying to decipher. Hold up. Text hard. Text is difficult to read. Sometimes. Ito. Oh yeah, no. As someone who cares deeply about the earth, the way we humans live on this planet is broken. No matter what we do, we are supporting something we don't want to, I feel. You have to be realistic. Yeah. Okay, I think there you go. In some way, but the fact that you gotta consume resources. The fact that you are born, you're human, you require food and nourishment, you know, all this shit. You need, like, by me living, I need to eat food. I need shelter, you know what I mean? All this shit. And one can argue, like, you don't need internet, you don't need to do that, you don't need a computer, you don't need, like, these anime figures, you don't need this, and that. But it's like, yeah, you don't need it. But, you know, yeah, it sparks joy. You know what I mean? I mean, there's a level, you know, right? You know, there's a level of, like, consumption that is concerning. You know what I mean? For me, it's like I try to be, it's quality over quantity, right? I try to reduce my purchases and get what I truly want. And there's a lot of things that I don't need. Like obviously I don't need this fucking Nendos, but I see them and they spark a joy. And you know what? With how much negativity there is in the world, maybe some sparking joy is great. And also you get to support Danganronpa. You get to support, like, you know, the people behind Danganronpa. You get to support Good Small Company who make these figures. You get to support, you know, product, this you know, box designer, the sculptor behind this, the people that painted this, all that stuff. You get to support them and stuff. And you get to have your little fun, like, oh my god, I love I love Danganronpa. I love, you know, Dress Up Darling. These are art. These are like stories. These are characters that I enjoy. And what's one way to support it and kind of not immortalize, but what's one way to kind of like, you know, enjoy the thing more, I guess. It's like, okay, figures are nice. You know what I mean? People, these are actual people behind this. There are people behind this that sculpt this, or artists. There's so many artists involved with this process. You know what I mean? And it's like, I feel like that's also gonna be a slippery slope when it comes to like a lot of products. Like there's a whole, we're not lying here. We're not gonna, how to describe it? It's really real here. There's a whole lot of shitty products out in the world. And this argument that I make for like, oh, but this product sparks joy. That's a very slippery slope. I can imagine someone who's like over consuming products can easily be like, oh, but that's like my 60, you know, like hydro flask, or my 60 fucking what's the water bottle that's popping off, or I think it's stopped popping off. Ow. You guys know what I'm talking about? Like the little cup, my 60 Stanley spark of joy. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's a slippery slope kind of thing. It's like it can easily like kind of spiral into that kind of shit, right? Like, oh, my little 60 Stanley spark of joy. Again, quality over quantity. I don't think someone needs that many fucking Stanleys, but just someone else argue, I don't need this many fucking figures. You know what I mean? So again, there's a balance to everything. There's a huge balance. Hi, Katie. Welcome to the stream. Yeah, Pumpkin says, so why shouldn't I have it? We're supposed to enjoy life. Let me enjoy it. Yeah, like, again, slippery slope with that whole thing about, like, someone buying, like, 60 Stanley Cups and be like, why shouldn't I have it? I should enjoy life. You know what I mean? Which, you know, there's some validity to that. But, you know, consumption, consumerism, there's a balance. Always a balance, you know what I mean? And maybe someone, like an environmental standpoint, they can criticize me like, oh, you're so into, like, environmentalism. Why do you collect these fucking little plastic things? And it's like, well, it's like, I'm still a person at the end of the day, and I still have my enjoyments. I'm an artist, you know what I mean? I like these figures. They're cute. They spark joy. How to describe it? Currently, my room is blank as fuck. I haven't put up any shelving in my room. I don't have any, like, I haven't put up my figures for display or anything yet because I don't have any proper shelving and whatnot to display them in. Dude, I have my bed and I have my desk. Those are the only, like, real furniture I have in this room. My bed and my desk. I don't have a dresser. I don't have a mirror. I barely have Jackson in this room, right? And living in this room, like, how you, like, decorate your room and your surroundings and your environment can have a pretty drastic change on how you feel on a day-to-day basis. It can really affect your mood. And I noticed that during my previous house, back when I lived with my parents, when I put up, like, art pieces, I had, like, a framed art that I got from, like, art prints that I got from artists, and I framed up on the wall. I put shelving, and I like, displayed, like, my anime figures and my various merchandise. It can affect your mood a lot. It's just a general vibe, and maybe it doesn't feel like it seems like pretty like finicky, or it seems pretty like not much. It doesn't feel like a whole lot. It's like, oh, it's just some, like, pictures on a wall and some figures on the wall. How can it really affect you that much? But I think it really does. I feel like your the environment that you spend a lot of time in can really affect how you feel. And sometimes these little figures, I like these. You know what I mean? Can you imagine if I got a figure? Like, if I got a figure, that's a huge fucking thing. If I got a Nendo, that's like insane to me. That's like one of my, like, life goals, right? It's to get a Nendoroid on my character, my little fucking, like, persona on the left, right? I love that shit. Can you imagine, like, all these Nendoroids? Okay, maybe to some people out there who aren't into figures, like, all these little plastic fucking these little toys, how does this mean much to anyone? But to me, I can imagine maybe the creator behind, like, Danganronpa, behind Junko, behind Monica, Dan Slovato, maybe the creator behind, like, Marin and Dress Up Darling, maybe they're fucking psyched to have figures of their characters. That's cool. And maybe the people that created, like, these figures, the sculptors, the painters, the box designers, these people are given opportunity to, like, you know, do, like, their job, something that they potentially enjoy. Maybe they don't enjoy it. Maybe, like, I'm stretching. But maybe the people behind these, maybe they really enjoy making all this together. It's a piece of art. It's a piece of art. You know what I mean? Like, everything in this, I would say, is a piece of art. You know, it's good. It's like, okay, even like the fucking the packaging. Good packaging design is a skill. You know what I mean? That's a skill. I feel like that's worth being, you know, it's worth noticing. And so everything part of this is like it's solid shit. You know, a lot of work goes into this. And I feel like people belittling the box itself is like kind of rude, I think, in my opinion. But like, you know, maybe like I don't know, who was Sukuban Games? What was the devs behind Valhalla? Was it Sukuban Games? I forgot. But you know, the devs behind Valhalla, maybe they're fucking psyched that like Jill and Dorothy Hayes, the characters of the game, got Nendoroids. That's sick, right? I feel like there's so much there's so much to like enjoy here, and to minimize it as like, oh, they're plastic, the little piece of plastic. I feel like that's demeaning. Versus like, again, like 60 Stanley Cups. Okay, it's like, okay, I could be like being all high and mighty, but being like, oh, my piece of plastic are worth more than your little metal cans of like tumblers or like drink cups. Okay, there's an argument to be had there, right? You know what I mean? But I feel like, really, if you really dig deep down and you think about the Stanley Cups, I feel like, would this person buy this many Stanley Cups if it was not a trend? You know what I mean? Would they have like this many Stanley Cups if it's not a trend to have this many? Would they bought this many because it's a trend? And maybe once the trend's over, where they still really appreciate all 60 of their Stanley Cups kind of thing? You know what I mean? But to me, it's like, I mean, maybe one could say anime figures are trendy. But like, I've been collecting anime figures since I was like in high school. Like since like what? Mid 2010s? I've been collecting anime figures. It's not like a trend or a hype kind of thing. It's generally, I enjoy these. They are like pieces of art. You know what I mean? They are pieces of art. And I want to be able to maintain these figures and maintain their quality because it's so good. And they're so good that I can pass it on to the next person. I can sell it to another collector or another person who enjoys Dorothy. And they can enjoy it because it's so like well made and so well packaged to keep it safe. You know what I mean? Pumpkin, sorry. Because I want to enjoy life and I have a brain that means to me, I still care and do things I care about for the planet, regardless if I buy things. It's how I handle being asked. Yeah, it's like, you know, you can do your best. But at the end of the day, you're still a human being and you still have your own interests. You can still do your best for the planet. I think the people that are like, it's either 0 or 100, either, you know, just either become a vegan or you're a disgrace to the planet. If you eat meat, you're disgusting. You don't care for the planet at all. You must be vegan in order to care for the planet and do well. And it's like, I feel like this whole 0 to 100 thing is not productive. You know what I mean? It just pushes people away. Because you can still, I would say, you don't have to go 100% vegan in order to do, you know, to reduce your meat, you know, intake. Because if you're unfamiliar, beef, to my understanding, takes a whole lot of resources. Beef takes a whole lot of space. They take a whole lot of food. You know, like, you know, cows, they need space to roam around. They need food, you know, to, you know, grow and become beef, you know, food. But beef is like one of the more like environmentally impactful meat. It is less environmentally like impactful to get chicken than it is to get beef. It takes less resources to eat chicken than it is to eat beef. So, by me, I'm not vegan. I care a lot about the planet. I'm not vegan. But what I've done is I reduced a lot of my meat intake. I barely eat beef. I eat beef sometimes. I don't eat beef a lot, but I don't eat it sometimes. It's less beef than I ate before, so that's less cows being slaughtered for, you know, for my consumption, right? And less demand, less meat demand that I'm giving to like meat companies. I still eat chicken. I still eat quite a bit of chicken. But when I cook dishes, and I'm like, this dish does not need meat, I can eat this dish fine without meat, then I do that. I remove the meat. Like, I've been making stuffed bell peppers. I've been making stuffed bell peppers because I remember my younger sibling Kana used to make those when we all lived with my parents. My sibling Kana, like stuffed bell peppers, basically, like, you know, it's a bell pepper that's cut open. It has like this like rice with like vegetables and like some meat mixed in it and stuff, maybe some cheese. But that's stuffed bell peppers, right? But for me, at first I added ground beef to that, right? I added ground beef to the rice. But then I tried eating it without the ground beef because I just really like ground beef. But I still have all the other ingredients for the dish. So I made it without ground beef, but it still tasted good. And because I can still enjoy the dish without beef, I just took out the beef. I don't eat it with beef anymore. That's one way where I reduce my intake of beef. But I'm not 100%, I'm not vegan. But because of that, I still reduce my intake. So I feel like just being, you know, having more of a conversation about like environmental impact of consumerism and shit. I feel like that's good. Instead of just like, fuck you little anime figures. If you like a little piece of plastic, fuck you. You're a danger to the planet. I'm like, that's not productive. I don't think it's productive. You know what I mean? Oh, okay, but here's another quote we tweet. Low-key fire? If the box is smaller, I'd be able to store more, so that's cool. Better not be a blank white thing, but I'm sure it's a placeholder. Yeah, so that is, I think, also something to mention about the size. If the boxes are smaller, that is better for the planet, in my opinion. And in a general sense, it is better for the planet because if the box is smaller, there's probably less material needed to make that box. Again, in theory, less material needed to make that box. There's less material, and also by having the product be smaller, it takes up less space. And the less space, you know, taken, that's good. I think particularly for like shipping, you know, like even outside shipping, but I think especially when it comes to shipping items, the more boxes you can fill into like one shipping container, that reduces like the amount of fossil fuels needed to transport the goods. Because if let's say 4 big boxes of figures fill up one shipping box versus like 16 figures fill up the same size shipping box, that's more product being pushed for the same amount of space needed. So less resources and fossil fuels needed to transport those goods. Something along those lines. Guys, I'm so bad at explaining shit. But if the boxes are smaller, they take up less space. That's good, environmentally wise. That's a fourth board. More products you can ship out in a smaller amount of space, which is good, and also, you know, just less space overall that these things are taking. Because what's like, you know, one environmental aspect that not many people think about is space. The more space we as humans take up, the more like space in the planet that we're taking up. That's the whole thing about like, you know, urban sprawl versus like maybe in Japan where they have more like compartment. What do you call it? There's a whole argument thing for that, right? The whole like multi-house or people living in multi-unit houses and stuff like that having less environmental impact than like one house for one family. If you have a whole bunch of houses with their own yards and driveways and all that spread across, that takes a whole lot of like land that could be used for like nature and plants and animals, right? Like local native plants and animals. If we kind of like condense into like multi-unit homes or like, you know, like multi-story unit like apartment complexes, that takes up a whole lot of resources than one family per house, like scattered across like the land. Which isn't to say like one can argue like preferably a house is nicer because you don't have to worry about like noises from neighbors and whatnot. You have more control, which is, you know, this is nice. But not everyone is in a stage of their life to own a house. So the fact that we have a mix of houses and multi-unit homes and stuff like that is a good mix. It's good to have options. People that can't afford homes and they're in a place in their lives where home is good for them, great. But maybe as like you're a single person that's, you know, maybe going to school, You just need temporary like housing, right? Or maybe you're not in a stage in your life where you have a family yet, and you don't need a huge ass house. And maybe most of the day you're out for work, and you don't need a big house. Maybe those like multi-unit homes or no apartment complexes are great for you in that stage of your life. And then maybe at one point in time you will have a family and you will want to move into a big house, right? But having options is good. Having multi-unit homes and also like standard homes, like single-family homes, is great. Choice is good. You know, for different stages in people's lives, they have different needs and different wants in that stage, and maybe in the future they'll have different needs. So having choices is great. So, but yeah, so less space needed to store these products, the less space that humans take up. You know what I mean? And that's a general thing. It's not just figure boxes, but the less shit humans have, the less space they need. Like people with storage units in the States, that's a big thing in the States, is having storage units, because so many people in the US have so much shit and junk that they don't know what to do with, so they buy storage units and store their shit in there, and sometimes forget about it altogether. You know what I mean? That takes up space. That could have been, you know, nature. That could have been like, that could have just been nature. It doesn't have to be like just, you know, they bulldoze, they bulldoze all this like all this like grass, plants, trees, and oh, here's a storage unit. We took down all these trees and these plants, these native local plants and stuff for our storage unit. So small, less space needed for these items. That's good. That is a good argument, I would say. Pumpkin says, I do agree. I still want a window. Yes. Unless the box art is going to be banger. I mean, like, there's so many good uses for this window. Not only is it, like, also, like, maybe aesthetically pleasing, sure, which is more, like, feasible, I guess. But it's just, like, again, you see what the product is. It's great for secondhand sales because you know what's in. You have a better chance of seeing what's inside. Less chances of you getting like, you know, you purchasing a bootleg. Which you know, if you're more likely to buy a bootleg because there's no window, then people are less likely to buy secondhand, which means they're more likely to buy new, which means more resources being made to make those new items. So, yes. Yeah. Yeah. What else? I feel like I can't think of things at the top of my head, but just scrolling through Kobe tweets of like, let's see, of this tweet is doing me. Going through Kobe tweets is giving me a whole lot of ideas to go off of, because I can't think of it at the top of my head, but the Kobe tweets are giving me like good ideas of what like topics to talk about. So, someone quote tweeted, support this. Climate change is already here. Holy shit. Hopefully more people will stop buying new things as well, to be honest. Yeah, I feel like that person makes a good point. Just not buying as much shit. Instead of like, I feel like by you not buying this product at all, it is a whole lot better than replacing this with paper. You know what I mean? Just if we were to do one or the other, if I as a buyer were to buy this product with paper packaging and not buy the product, not buying it would have a better environmental impact. Yes. So. Oh my god. Okay. I won't give too. Okay, I'm saying a bunch of like negative shit on Twitter. I'm not gonna give it too much like attention because I feel like that's cringe. I don't want to give them more ammo, but it's just kind of also disappointing. That's the thing about Twitter. It's just disappointing to see how negative people are. But that's the issue. Just don't go on Twitter. Just don't click on replies or Kobe tweets of Twitter. You know what I mean? There's also like someone pointed out this Kobe tweet. This is insane. Good small companies just making bullshit excuses to reduce production costs and make a bigger profit? Recycling ? Collectors literally don't dispose of plastic in the boxes because used to display the product and or store the extra parts. Yeah, so like that's another point that like maybe is worth maybe thinking or considering is that, is this purely for like, is this, okay, it's marketing as a, like an environmental like move, right? Like they're doing this change to reduce the environmental impact, but like, okay, how much of it is actually environmental impact and how much of it is because of money? You know what I mean? Which, if it is like, if it is a money thing, like, that's not necessarily wrong to do. I don't feel like that's wrong. But it makes you think, right? It makes you think, like, is it purely for environmental reasons, or is it also to, like, you know, reduce their costs? Which, again, not bad. Everything's getting expensive. But it is a big It's a big right? Let's see. Collectors are the, like, here's another query we tweet. Collectors are the most brain-dead plague on the planet, to be honest. If you want to keep them in quote-unquote good condition, just take good care of them. They are made to be opened. But it's also, again, I'm made to be open, yes. But also, what about when I don't have the space to display them? Or when I move? When I have to move? Or maybe there's no space, like maybe there's no space to be displayed at the time being. For the time being, like right now in my life, I don't have shelves put up, right? At this point in time, I don't have any shelves to put this shit. Is that a crime? At this current point in time, I don't have any shelves put up to display my figures? I don't think it's a fucking crime. Like, all these people, like, they assume, like, the perfect conditions. But the thing is, like, yes, an ideal world, we would take very good care of these figures in any circumstance. But everyone has a different circumstances. And I have a cat. Pebbles really loves to knock shit over. Like you just saw earlier, she was stepping on my keyboard and she was walking all over the place. She was zooming across my room. I have to be very careful about how I display my stuff. So for the time being, them being in their boxes is currently the safer option. And like they're in the boxes and they're currently in my closet. It's a better option than having them displayed outright. Until I figure out a good like container, a clear container to display these figures in. I mean, maybe I'm the issue by like I'm going through Twitter, going through query tweets, and getting worked up. I mean, it's like maybe that's the issue. You know what I mean? But I feel like, yeah, that's the topic of this stream though. It's like we're looking at people's arguments for these figures and why these boxes are a bad decision or not. So, oh my god. People are so extreme, my god. Anyone that doesn't support this decision is actually fucking stupid. And then like, oh shit, I blocked it. Oh well. It disappeared before I can finish it. This is good. Figures like these are meant to be displayed and the packaging is destroying the planet. No. I mean, we already discussed that. The whole like packaging thing versus the actual product. I feel like that's more okay. I feel like I already went through most of the main arguments that people have for this packaging thing. Okay. Yeah, a lot of the arguments are quite shallow society. Yeah, that's the main thing. Is that like okay, I got the pointer, like the arguments that I've saw and point, like, you know, addressed. I already kind of addressed them. Now I'm just kind of repeating the same things over and over again. So oh, so wait here, but someone said I saw a comment. Here's a quote we tweet. I saw a comment like, sure, this reduces plastic, but collectors and resellers will take a big hit on their investment. Like, that isn't two positive outcomes. I think if you're going into this, if you're buying these purely for the intention of reselling it, I think that in itself is a shitty thing to do. I mean, let me rephrase that. If these are, okay, with figures, most often, they are pre-orderable. Figures often, you can pre-order them ahead of time and then release like several months later, right? So I feel like if you pre-order them, like multiple copies with intention of like reselling it, and you don't disrupt like the number of availability of these products, I feel like that's fine. Because you pre-ordered it. And we're going with the assumption that pre-order numbers adjust. I mean, the amount that the company produces adjusts according to pre-orders. I think that's fine. But if you're going to a store or, buying these online and there's only a certain amount of products available and you buy them up and you take away those purchasing opportunities to someone who actually wants them and you buy them up with the intention of reselling, I feel like that's a shitty thing to do. I feel like that's shitty. But this SciShow says, I agree with the concerns about the quality of the product and knowing what you're getting. My bro got some new Marvel figures that didn't have a little window and they arrived broken. So he had to go back to the store to get replacements, but he had to take multiple pictures and it was quite the hassle. Exactly, right? Like a window can do so much. Can you imagine, okay, let's say your brother got that new Marvel figure and it arrived broken and wanted to get replacements. And someone, or maybe they sent like a whole new replacement of the entire figure sent to him for the figure. So, I don't know, like, again, this is a very specific situation. But this situation would likely be less likely to happen if they had a window, right? So let's say, yeah, he bought the Marvel figure. He contacted like the company behind it, be like, hey, it arrived broken. Can I get a new one? And then they ship over a whole new box of another figure. That's 2 figures. That's 2 times the material and resource cost. That may have not happened at all if there was a window altogether. You know what I mean? If the window had just been there, they might have reduced the whole issue. The issue might have not happened at all. Or maybe at like, yeah, it's a whole thing. The window was really helpful. I don't think. I think the window is the main thing. If they replace the paper packaging of this, and it still like maintains the structure, like keeping the product safe, I feel like people won't have as much of an issue with that. The window was like huge thing here. Huge thing. Yeah, because he would have been able to see there was something off with it. And exactly, right? Yeah. So, yeah. What else did I write down? To do it less off-gas retainment. Material accessibility to recycling facilities. You mentioned that already. Discourages secondhand sales, which people don't see. People don't see that. And that's like the whole environmental thing is not everyone's like it's like a huge topic that I learned over years and years and years of just caring about this shit. Not everyone is like familiar with it, but circular market, secondhand sales, figures, collectors already being kind of environmentally friendly by selling this shit to each other. The fact that we sell secondhand goods to each other instead of buying new, that's great. That's a good habit to have. Buy secondhand. That's great. So people being like, oh, if you want the new thing, if you want to make sure you get the right product, just buy new. Like, no, that kind of defeats the purpose. That kind of goes against environment. If environmental like impact is your concern, buying new goes against that. Yeah, the best middle point would be indeed to have the courage to open and place. Oh, no. I don't understand what that means. So, also, when it comes to this thing, okay, we with this packaging, we see the product photo, right? We see the product photo here. We see it, we have an idea what the product's supposed to look like, but because of the window, we actually kind of get an idea of how the sculpt actually looks. Because like a good chunk of the time, or like half the time, sometimes you see a product photo of the figure, it looks great, and then you actually get the figure, it looks slightly off, right? You won't be able to notice that unless like, you see the box, the window, that you see the figure itself. And for me, when it comes to like pre-ordering figures, oftentimes I don't pre-order figures, which is kind of, I think, a bad thing on my end. But I like to wait until the product releases and see product photos. People like getting the figures themselves and posting pictures online. Because, again, product photo isn't 100% accurate to what the final product actually looks like. This is like the nice photo that they take of like the prototype and everything that they use to make sales. What you get in the end is a mass-produced product. You know what I mean? Which is not gonna likely not 100% represent what you see in the product photo. So what I like to do is I like to wait for the figure to release first and see the photos that people post online to see how the actual product looks. And then from there, I might decide whether or not to take the figure. Yeah, basically have the window to see the figure, and the other parts should probably be fine to have paper-based if I'm making. Yeah. So as long as the window is there, everything else is paper-based. It's probably fine as long as it keeps the structure of the figure. Again, I think that's the main thing of it. One thing, if you truly want to reduce your environmental impact, buy less shit. There's a little plastic here. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, if we do produce figures over a long period of time, you're probably gonna accumulate a bunch of plastic. But if you really wanna like reduce your environmental impact, buy less shit. Buy less shit. That's it. Quality over quantity, guys. Quality over quantity. Buy less shit. Buy things that last long. Don't buy like cheap, like, you know, like Shein clothing that lasts like maybe like 1 or 2 washes, and after that it's dead. Buy high quality stuff if you can. You know what I mean? If your goal is environmental shit. So buy less shit. Protect good care of the stuff you do have. And paper, plastic is not the enemy. Is not like always the enemy, right? Plastic can be really good. Like, I know some people like argue there's a whole like zero waste movement about like people putting, you know, like I'm not gonna buy this product. I'm not gonna buy this ingredient because it's not in a recyclable container. I'm not gonna buy this like macaroni and cheese in a plastic bag when I can buy it in this like glass jar because glass jars are recyclable. Or like a paper box. When I'm like, glass actually takes some more resources than plastic. It's heavier too. There's the argument of like, I don't want to buy this macaroni and cheese noodles because it's in a little paper bag instead of a glass jar. Well, in that particular argument, plastic is a lot less wasteful than a glass jar. Like, yeah, okay, glass is probably more recyclable, or it's seen as more recyclable, but generally the plastic's more environmentally friendly because, for one, glass takes up like more resources to make. It takes up like sand and shit and all that jazz to make glass. So one, takes up more resources. Two, they're heavier, so it takes up a whole lot more gas and fossil fuel to transport that item from one place to the other. It takes a whole lot more gas to transport this glass container of macaroni from the manufacturer to the store because it's heavier. Also, glass is more breakable. If that glass breaks and like, you know, all that macaroni, they're not going to sell it. If that glass breaks, they're like, you know, sweeping up, they're cleaning up the glass and the macaroni, throwing it all away. So by packaging this macaroni in like a plastic bag, for one, less resources needed, less gas needed to transport the macaroni from one place to the other, and also it's a whole lot less likely to break if like it were to drop or something, or maybe it's too hot. Like, I don't know, maybe the glass gets weird, but like the heat, and the plastic also gets weird with heat, but like, so the whole idea of like, oh, plastic altogether, big no-no, big evil, which I'm like, I mean, compared to like alternative options, plastic might be the more environmentally friendly option. It's not always one for one, you know what I mean? Paper is not always one for one a better replacement for plastic. Like, for one thing, I would say probably maybe recycled plastic is more environmentally friendly than virgin paper. You know what I mean? Because like recycled plastic takes like currently existing resources and, you know, makes a new thing out of it. And there you go. You don't need to get more plastic. You don't need to get more gas, petroleum to make more plastic because you reused what was existing. Great. You know what I mean? In terms of like environmental impact of paper versus like recycled paper versus recycled plastic. I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, I can't say. What's going on, says Galaxy Me. Sai says, basically talking about the Nendoroid packaging situation. Yeah. 6. And basically going over a bunch of the arguments that people had about, like, whether or not this is a good decision environmentally wise, which I kind of discussed, and how, like, it can vary a lot. There's so many factors that can determine whether or not this is a better environmental decision. There's a whole lot more to it than just the packaging itself. That's basically it, right? There's a whole lot more environmental footprint to a figure, to an Nendoroid, than just the plastic packaging. But a lot of people hyperfixate on the packaging because that's what we see, right? We see the packaging and we throw it out, right? That's not the actual product is here. You know what I mean? This is the actual product, right? We see this Nendoroid. This is the product. This is what we want. This plastic, this is not the actual product. So people see this as a waste, right? Because it's not actually being used. But, you know, we don't really necessarily see or like really think about, okay, the product itself actually takes more resources to make than this plastic, and the plastic protects this, right? And if this little bit of extra plastic protects this product, that is better than if like we use like no plastic whatsoever, or like shitty, like maybe potentially paper packaging that performs less, and it kind of might damage the product and shit like that. Then it kind of defeats the purpose. It's a whole thing. I mean, that's what the whole stream was. We basically talked about that. So, but that's my intake, guys, about the whole Nendoroid thing, the Nendoroid packaging thing. Again, I didn't formally study environmental science or anything. I don't see what happens behind the scenes of a good small company. I'm just one person, you know, I'm one figure collector that has my own way of displaying these products. Everyone has their own different life and how, handle figures in their own different ways. So, where do you go? Oh shit, where do you go? What the fuck? I wonder if recycled plastic or clear paper exists. You can, like, plastic in of itself is a recyclable material, but whether or not people have access to facilities that do recycle plastic is another thing. Like for me, with my stuff, when it comes to like this plastic film, thin film is what they call it, I believe. You, at least in my area, it's basically in all the areas I've been to, you cannot recycle this in a curbside recycling bin. So it's not like you can go outside to like your personal garbage bin and your personal recycling bin and throw this inside and expect it to be recycled. This one has to go through a specific recycling like facility with a different drop-off bin. Like in the US, a lot of, like, maybe you don't know, maybe people pass by because they don't really notice it, but in the US there's a lot of grocery stores that have like a drop-off bin that accepts plastic film like this to be recycled. Whether or not it actually gets recycled is another thing that we don't know for sure, but the option is there. But that is if the option is nearby you. Not everyone has the option to drop off like their thin plastic film, right? And a lot of people don't have the energy to collect it all together and then drop it off at the store. They're like, fuck it, just throw it out, just throw it in the trash. You know what I mean? Just throw it in the trash. It's not worth the effort. Which I can imagine is most people, which, I don't blame them. In an ideal world, everyone would care about and go through the extra effort, I spat. In an ideal world, everyone would go through the extra effort to make sure they try to recycle and make sure, all their waste goes to the right place to be reused. But we don't live in an ideal world. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that we should give up, that we should not do anything about it. But, I'm thinking about, in a general sense, you know what I mean? I would love if everyone could recycle. I would love if, maybe companies could be more environmentally friendly. But at this point in time, they are not. And what can we do to make the best of what we have? With our current situation.
And also, I know I'm a fucking little tree hugger, and I love this shit. I love trying to be environmentally friendly. It affects me with my daily life. It affects me all time. Everything I do. I usually think about the environment in some way, shape, or form. How do I... Is this the right little thing for it? Fuck, is this the right little... Am I doing this correctly? Would it make more sense to use recycled plastic for the packaging than paper? I wonder. I think it would be nice to use recycled plastic if it performs in the same way that this plastic does. So recycled plastic at this point in time may not perform in the same way that this plastic does, right? So maybe I'm assuming maybe virgin plastic. This material can be molded, right? You can see how this plastic is molded. I'm assuming they had some kind of like steel, like some kind of metal, like mold, punch, or something like that. They have some sort of like molded, like maybe steel plate or something that, you know, they place like this plastic film on and heat up, so the plastic warps around it and makes this shape, right? I don't know if I'm describing it well. Something about shaped metal plate, place plastic sheet on it, melt, like heat it up so it warps and it gets this shape. You know what I mean? Maybe Good Small try to do recycled plastic. Maybe recycled plastic at this point in time cannot do this. Maybe it cannot properly form in this way. Maybe it melts and just loses its shape. I don't fucking know. Different material works differently in different like settings. So maybe in this setting specifically, virgin plastic can do this. Maybe plastic packaging cannot. Maybe paper packaging does that better than virgin plastic. I don't know. It could be a whole lot of different reasons. I don't know. Yeah. We learned about climate change not too long ago, and I was surprised by how much little things can add up, and how truly my country isn't the most impacting, quote unquote, but learning about and doing things may help other places and make a bigger impact. I'm thankful for everyone doing their best to be smart with what they have, and by news and their impact is cool and makes me happy. I do what I can from here. And you're right, maybe it's not there yet, but we may get there hopefully, or may find more solutions. Yeah, exactly, right? There's a lot of this, it's like, currently, like, I'm sure with like the right resources and knowledge and everything, we can get to a place where a lot better options are available to us. But at this current point in time, maybe recycled plastic is not the best option. Maybe in the future, when they refine recycled plastic more, maybe they find something to help, it would make it better, right? But at this current time, maybe, I don't know. That's just a guess, you know what I mean? Maybe paper is better than recycled plastic for one reason or another. That isn't necessarily environmental. You know what I mean? Maybe it's more so like a sense of like functionality. And again, what's the point of using this if it's not even to protect the product to begin with? And it's just more wasteful because you just ruined the product. So. Ah, shit. So that's my 2 cents about the Nendoroid packaging thing. Made a 2.5 hour fucking stream out of it. I mean, I'm pretty sure I repeated a whole lot of stuff. But yeah. My thoughts. As a fucking certified tree hugger, I care a lot about this shit. And, you know, people that argue for, like, plastic. You know, I'm not saying I am not guilty of that, right? There was a point in time in my life where, you know, I cared about the environment and I hyperfixated on the packaging, right? I didn't think about the product and whatnot, the resources needed to make the product. You know, that was me at one point in time. But then, you know, because I'm super into this shit, I learned more. I was like, oh, wow. Plastic isn't necessarily the evil that everyone thinks it is. You know what I mean? Like, does it stick around the planet for a long time? Yes. It's made out of petroleum gas? Yes, it is. It's not the best. But in some cases, it is a better option compared to alternative options. You know what I mean? It's more environmentally friendly compared to other options. And it's like, that's what we discuss here at my channel. Haha, funny cock and ball dick pic ratings, VTuber shit. Haha, funny horny. But like, one of the things I really care about is the environment. That's something I really, really care about. So, yeah. And it affects my life on a daily basis. Like for me, I guess one example I can put right here. My little bowl of grapes. This bowl is secondhand. I bought this from a thrift store. I bought 2 of these for $3.50, I believe. I bought secondhand. Yes, because I need plates. I need plates, right? Yeah. This phone is secondhand. This phone's secondhand. I got a secondhand phone. Anthony. I have 1 water bottle. And I waited to get this cute one. Because I knew that cute water bottles exist out there. So I wanted to wait until I found a good one. Because, like, I didn't want to, like... Because some people argue, like... Well... You can, like, you know... Instead of, like, suffering for a little bit... Instead of being inconvenienced for a little bit... Just buy a cheap water bottle now. And then buy your cute one in the future, right? I'm like, yeah, but there's 2 times the product needed. Unless maybe, like, secondhand. If I bought, like, a cheap... Like, secondhand water bottle... And use that until I got this one... Then I think it's fine. But I'm not buying 2 different new water bottles. I'm not buying like the cheap temporary one. I'm buying this long lasting one. Because that's 2 times the product needed. There's 2 times the amount of materials needed, right? 7 burps. So yeah, I didn't use a water bottle for some time. I would often, if I get like a plastic soda bottle, if I'm like out at like an airport or something, I buy like a plastic soda bottle to buy to get soda at the airport, or like I'm out and about and I have a plastic soda bottle, I would use that and I would refill it with like water or like other soda, and I bring that to work. So for my work, for where I go to work right now, I have like Calpico bottles. I have lychee Calpico bottles that instead of throwing out and recycling, which I will do once it's done, but what I currently do is I refill it with soda. And I bring soda to me to work. Instead of buying like a new bottle of like soda every time I go to work and go to lunch and grab, you know, go nearby to like a store or something and buy like a new bottle of soda. I just refill the one I have at home and use that. I mean, granted, the soda does come from another plastic bottle, but it comes from a 2-liter bottle, but it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So I bought this keyboard secondhand. It's the only keyboard I have now. I needed a fucking like coin jar for my coins, so I bought a secondhand like cinema roll thing. And I only have 1. I have 1. I'm not buying. I plan to stick with the secondhand keyboard until I buy a new one, a nice one. If I can get a secondhand, that's great. But for now, this is what I'm sticking with until I can get a nice new one. Which and then it'll take me a while because I want to wait until I find a really good one so I stick with it. So I don't buy a new one every other season or some shit because I'm like, ooh, I like this one. I like this one. I wait until I get one I really, really like and then buy that and stick with that. I've been using this fucking pencil case since like maybe like 2019. I mean, I have other pencil cases. I have this one that I made with my old art back in like what, 2018 or some shit. This was like a sample product that I made back in like 2018 when I was testing out this manufacturer's like pencil cases. This is my old art, my old ruby and sapphire art. I still use it. I still use it to this day. So I have my label printer, which you don't see right now, but I have a label printer on my desk, secondhand. And I try to buy the one good quality label printer and stick with that. So I don't know. Yeah, I care a lot about environment shit, and it affects me on a daily basis. Like, I turn off the lights in my house. I try to turn off the lights. I wash my clothes in cold water because using hot water requires electricity to heat up with a water heater. I use bar soaps because bar soaps require less water and plastic than like liquid soaps and shit like that. So I care a lot about this. It affects me on a daily basis. That's supposed to go on the Monica figure. Fuck. So it's not just like, how to describe it? Giving myself some credibility here. Some credibility. It's not performative. The whole like me and care about the environment and like the Nendoroid packaging and plastic environmentalism, it is not performative. I know someone mentioned that on Twitter, not towards me specifically, but they were mentioning like, oh, people care about the environment until it affects their anime figures. The whole being environmentally friendly thing is like, you know, performative. It's like, for me, I can assure you it is not. Not saying that like, to some degree, I don't feel like, oh, it's like an ego thing. Like, oh, I try to be environmentally friendly. That's cool. Wow, that's so sugoi of me kind of thing. Not saying that's not there at all. But it comes from a place of like me just generally caring about the environment and doing what I can when I can. But also like, how to describe it? I don't know. That's not where I was going with that. Sai says, you were not just talking, you're actually doing your part. I try my best. But within reason, right? Like, again, I mentioned before, I'm not 100% vegan. I mean, I'm not vegan. I can't say I'm not 100% vegan. I mean, it's not vegan at all. Because I like some meat products. But I can still have less of an environmental impact by reducing my meat intake. You know what I mean? So I'm not fully depriving myself of something that I enjoy for the sake of environmentalism. I mean, I will say that, to be clear, this does like trying to be environmentally friendly does inconvenience me in multiple ways. I'll say that. It gets to a point where sometimes it's kind of stressful how much effort and like thoughts I put into it, and sometimes I do come off weird. I think I do come off weird to others about how much I care about this shit. I mean, it just cannot be that deep, but I remember when I was talking to some of my coworkers and whatnot about like, oh, I mentioned like, oh, I don't have a Halloween for Christmas. I don't have a costume for Christmas this year. Not Christmas, fuck. I don't have a costume for Halloween this year. I didn't think about it. I didn't have time to like really consider what kind of costume to get. I don't want to get anything like impulsively last minute kind of thing. I wanted to make sure I like it a lot and I stick with it. And like my coworkers, like, it's not that, it's like, they were like, oh, it's not that deep. It's just a funny hee hee ha ha, right? It's not exactly what they said, but it's like essentially that, right? It's like, it's not that deep, man. It's just for fun. But like, so maybe that made me look weird, or like to other people, it's like, oh, that's weird of you to do. But to me, it's like, I don't mind if it's a bit weird, and sometimes maybe it makes me appear off to some people. But to me, it's like I care about it a lot. You know what I mean? I care about that shit a lot. And there's a lot of things that seem like minuscule, like it's not that deep to a lot of people, because it's very normal to them. It's a part of the normal life, like consuming and shit. But to me, it's like there's so much that goes into like so many things in my life. There's so many things. You know, all my costumes are closet costumes as well. Yeah, let's go. To me, it's like I don't want to like impulsively buy a costume just for the one day, and then like realize, oh, well, I didn't put much thought into this costume. It doesn't fit me very well. I don't really like it. It's cheap quality. I'll just toss it or keep it in my closet or just don't wear it again. You know what I mean? Because I made it impulsively. I didn't really truly think about it. But to me, it's like, I don't want to do that. I want to think about it. I want to make sure I'll be able to wear it multiple times. I want to think about like, okay, the future, long term, would I be able to use this in the future? You know what I mean? What situations can I use this again? Can I sell this to someone else afterwards if I'm no longer interested in it? You know what I mean? Can I continue that circularity? Can I continue that circular economy and pass this costume down to someone else if I'm done with it. Can also cleaning of it, how easy it is to clean. You know what I mean? Is this hand wash? Is it dry clean only? Can I wash the machine? If it's dry clean only, I'm likely not going to use it much. And if I'm not going to use it much, it's kind of a waste. So I feel like, yeah, I feel like a lot of stuff can come off kind of weird to someone. I feel like it affects me at my work too. I put too much thought into shit. Until I was like, yo, it's not that deep, bro. It's not that deep. Just, we're not paid enough to care. Just continue. I'm like, no, but if we display this item in this way, then the customer will be able to see it better. They're more likely to buy it that way. Or, oh, I don't want to, I feel like we should add like some kind of note or sticker on this product and saying like, oh, this product is missing this, or this product is, is kind of faulty, or this product is this and that. It's transparency for the consumer. And they're like, bro, it's not that deep. Don't think about it too much. I'm like, okay. Because, granted, like, I don't know, I'm going on a rant about my work now. For me, it's like, okay, I can imagine, like, at my workplace, for a lot of things, it's like, dude, we just need to get this done. Don't think about it too much. Just get it done. I'm like, oh, but what about the consumer? Like, I want to change this because I think this would be better for the customer. You know what I mean? If I was a customer, I would like to know what I'm getting. I would like to see this transparency in this product, or I would like to see this product treated in this way. I would like, and they're like, dude, it's not that deep. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, am I the problem? Am I the problem? I don't know. Maybe I'm not too minimum wage enough. I mean, maybe I'm not too minimum wage, like, mindset enough. Maybe, I don't know. This is why this is why I'm not really like a fucking, this is why I aimed for self-employment and freelance kind of thing. I study a lot of business stuff because I feel like the freedom. I'm too picky with quality control. I'm way too picky with quality control. Because it's like, this product is something that people are spending their hard-earned money on, and I want to make sure it's worth their money. You know what I mean? I want to make sure to like take care of it and take good care of it, because like if I'm working at like a store, like I have a retail part-time job, and maybe I just need to some flexibility, some like this balance and all that. Sometimes don't focus on the details too much and just get it done, right? We just need to get this done, which I'm not, I think that's a flaw I have, where I focus too much on the details and stuff. And I think I'm slow compared to like my other coworkers and whatnot. But it's also like, I feel like sometimes it's at the whole like, oh, let's get it going, go. Quality over quantity over quality, right? I feel like it's at the expense of like the product kind of thing. And I feel like, but yeah, customers are spending their hard-earned money on it. I want to do what I can to make sure they're getting a good product and they're getting the transparency, all that kind of shit. Because I might like when I try to think about how I work, I try to think of like, okay, how I as a customer, what would I think about getting this product, right? And I don't know. Maybe I'm just a weird one. Maybe I'm the weird one. I don't know. Cause if you work retail, or you just work and you handle a whole bunch of product, to you, if you're like, handling those products, it's just one out of like the hundreds, if not thousands of products you handle that day, right? Or that week, whatever. It's one thing. Like if you're working a retail shop or manufacturing and you see like a flaw with one thing, it's like, oh, whatever. Don't worry about it too much. We have like a whole bunch of other things to worry about, right? We have a whole bunch of other products to worry. But like, maybe to like the company or the store behind it, it is just that one product to them, the one out of 100 and hundreds. But to me as a consumer, this is my product. The one I grab off the shelf, this is mine. This is my one product that I'm spending my hard-earned money on. And if like the store or like company behind it were like, oh, pump it out at the expense of like the quality control and stuff, Well, no, I suffer from that. Like my lum figure, my 1/4 lum scale figure, that figure has a huge dent in it. Hold on, I'm gonna grab it actually. I'm gonna grab it real quick. I'll show you guys. Also, hi Power Sauce, welcome to the stream. So, like, to me, okay, from a consumer point of view, I don't like this. Bro, my box for this lum figure, my prized 1/4 scale lum figure is damaged. And I don't think it happened during shipment. I think it happened during, like, post-production or, like, because, okay, when I received the box for this figure, I even have an unboxing stream. The corners of, like, the shipping box, fine, no damage. So when I got this figure like this, it tells me that this damage likely happened either during, like, manufacturing process or, like, not manufacturing, like, transportation in some way, shape, or form. You know what I mean? This shit happened. And now I'm stuck with this. You know what I mean? I'm stuck with it. I'm stuck with this damaged box. And maybe to the people managing it, maybe to the store, like, shipping these items out, or the manufacturer that's handling this, to them, it's like, oh, it's just the 1/4 scale lum out of, like, the hundreds and hundreds of lums that we had to get out. Get it, like, it's okay, just pump it out, right? Just get it out the door. We have a whole bunch of orders to worry about. But now, like, as me, as the one consumer, to the store, okay, it's one lum. But to me, this is my lum. This is my lum, right? And she's damaged. And I don't like that, you know what I mean? Now I'm stuck with the damaged box. And, like, I spent my hard-earned money. This is, like, what, $200+ figure? She's $200+, and I got a damaged box, right? I don't like that. So to me, for, like... Oh, shit, sorry, my bad. When it comes to, like... Maybe I'm the problem again. When it comes to, like my retail job, I try to make sure that, you know, there's transparency with the products. I try to do that, and I try to make sure, like, the customer is aware of what they're getting. And I try my best to make sure, like, within reason, these items are taken care of. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, that's their one item. And I feel like I get kind of, like, I'm kind of seen as, like, the troublesome, or, like, the kind of, you know, coworker or worker that has a bit of friction, that I'm, like, the bad worker or something. So, you know, it's not exactly, but, like, you know, it's kind of troublesome to have me as an employee, because, like, I slow down or some shit like that. And it's at expense. It's like, I don't know. I don't think I'm meant to be an employee. I'll say that. I think there's a reason why I chose, like, the whole, like, self-employment content creator shit, is because I don't think I can be an employee. I don't like the... I can't do it's not that deep, man. To me, I care too much. I care too much about, like, product and shit. I try to, at least, when I can, you know? Not saying that I'm perfect, like, oh, I only care about the consumer and the customer, and, you know what I mean? It's not it, but I try to think about the customer's point of view with some stuff. I try to. And I don't know. I guess it's at least motivation for me to work on my own stuff, right? I think I got some experience with, like, a traditional part-time job, and it's like, yeah, even though I really do like where I work, thank God that, like, my part-time job is really flexible with schedules, which really works out well for me when it comes to, like, traveling and conventions, and, like, sometimes I disappear for, like, a few months because I'm doing a whole bunch of shit, like, during the summer. Like, I'm visiting a bunch of places, I'm seeing my boyfriend, It's great. But I don't think my I guess my values and my skill sets are really like properly suited for like being an employee. If that makes sense. I feel like they're better suited elsewhere. And not employee, but like, you know, it's just general like oh, retail store clerk. I don't think that's where my abilities are best placed. I'll say that. Maybe it is better to just like, it's not that deep, man. You don't get paid enough for this shit. Maybe I need to have more of that mindset. But I could be just focusing way too much on the details and not on the overall big picture. That also could be a me issue, very much. But, you know, maybe it's a good experience, you know what I mean? I feel like everyone should have some sort of like retail experience to kind of empathize them a bit, you know what I mean? There's some Karens out there that are like, you need to work retail yourself and experience being like Karened, I guess, for you to earn some empathy and chill or some shit. So I think it's good. It's good to get an experience, I think. Retail work. I think kind of grow from that and learn. Nah, Sai says no more retail, thanks. I hate it. Oh my god. Yeah. Thank God. I was very selective about where I worked. Eight burps, yay. I mean, not everyone can be super selective. Like, the job market's fucked right now. Job market's so fucked. But thank God I managed to get a position at the retail place I work now. At the retail thing I have. Because, you know, it's still like kind of minimum wage. It's a part-time retail job. I get minimum wage-ish, right? But thank God my boss is really, really chill with scheduling. That's like the most important thing to me. One of the most important things is scheduling. Because a lot of like places, at least I don't know elsewhere, but in the US, they aren't very flexible when it comes to scheduling. From what I heard from others, good luck getting time off. Like, if you ask for too much time off, they see you as like the problematic employee and potentially like want to kick you or some shit. But thank God my place is chill. Yeah, it's nice to be able to control the quality of your content/products as parasols. Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like it's also like a cope thing for me as well. I feel like I'm on the end of perfectionism, where I need to chill. I'm too focused on like the nitty-gritty details. I miss the big picture. Is that I also like, because I'm so like into the details, that probably some people won't even care about. It prevents me from making progress because I'm slow when I hyperfixate on like the small things and I take forever. So that I think that is definitely a genuine problem on my end that I need to improve on. So that's something I need to improve on. But I don't know. It's like there's again balance for everything. You know what I mean? Like obviously you gotta have some care for the quality control, but also not hyper focus it on so much to the point where like you don't get any work done and you just do that one thing that in the end probably doesn't have too much consequential damage or like consequences. You know what I mean? Yeah, I get that. I have it as well. It makes stuff complicated. Yeah, it does. But I don't know. I guess the part-time job and my frustrations from it, it's not really dunking at anyone else. I feel like maybe I'm just not a very good employee, right? I think it motivates me, right? I feel like it's kind of frustrating. I'm now kind of motivated to be like, no, I should focus on my personal work because I need to be able to I should be able to work on my own stuff so I can make a living out of it, so I can no longer have a need for like a part-time job. Oh, Parasol says, I was a problematic employee, requesting quote-unquote too many days off within a year. Basically, right? Yeah. They are not leading with that shit. It's like, bro, I have a life outside work. Sorry. I don't know what to tell you. I have a life outside of work. I'm a person. I have family. I have events to go to. I have this and that. You know what I mean? Yeah, dude, I always get hung up in the details with parasols. Yeah. I feel like maybe it's a creative thing. Maybe it's a creative thing to focus on details. Well, a common creator thing is to focus on details too much. You know what I mean? Not saying every single, like, if you're a creator, you have to be a perfectionist, and if you don't have that perfectionism, then you're not a creator whatsoever. I'm not saying that. It's just, I'm just saying it's like a very common thing to have as a creator. You know what I mean? Yeah. My poor lumbox. I still haven't contacted Good Smile. No, is it Good Smile? I still haven't contacted Good Smile about that. I don't know if I'm past like the whole like period of time to contact Good Smile about my box. And I'm disappointed. I mean, like, I can go with it. It's like, it's fine. But it's like, you know, for my 1/4 scale lum, I would like the box to be, you know, the best shape it can be. It's my, I love this figure. She's my, like, one of my top favorite figures. This lum. This just, oh, she's fucking huge, guys. She's fucking huge. This lum. Can't see her. She's like one of my top favorite figures, and the fact that her box is damaged makes me sad. Quality over quantity, guys. That's what matters to me. And this 1/4 scale lum. I don't have any other lum figures. This is my one lum figure because I wasn't too big a fan of the other lum figures. I mean, there is a lum scale figure that I'm currently eyeing. It's like her in her school uniform. I think it looks nice from the product photos. I'm gonna wait until she releases before I buy it. But like, she's so pretty, guys. I will miss out on all the other lum figures so I can get her, because she's one of the best like lum figures out there in my opinion. To me, at least. She's one of the best lum figures out there. So I got her. Quality over quantity, guys. I'll skip out to get this one lum figure, maybe a scale figure of lum in the future, because there's one that I'm kind of eyeing. Ah, keep hitting my shit. Sorry. Also, how dare you work below 20 hours a week while you're in school? No! These companies don't fucking care about you guys. No, generally, they don't care about you. They don't. They don't. I mean, I'll say at my workplace, I think we have a good environment overall, because our boss, where I work, our boss is really sweet. He's such a great guy. I love my boss. And I think because of that, because he's a good boss, people in my workplace, like, we feel like, oh, he treats us well, we'll do our best. Well, I don't know if everyone thinks also agrees to do their best, but, you know, we'll try to do them well. You know what I mean? We're not gonna slack around much. We'll do what we can. We'll stay on the job. We're not gonna slack, you know, pee on company time, haha, you know. They're like, no, we'll do our job. You know what I mean? Because that's what our boss deserves. Because, you know, he's good to us. So that's what I really appreciate. That's what I appreciate. So, thank God. So, like, I don't want to lose this job, more so in the sense of, like, because lack of opportunity out there with other jobs kind of thing. It's like, this job's nice. My boss is nice. He's really flexible with schedules. I feel that's a rarity and I should, like, hold on to it as long as I can. But I feel like, again, I don't feel like I'm the best employee. I feel like it's becoming a strain in a way. If that makes sense. My values, like what I learned as, like, you know, also, again, perfectionism, but also, like, I guess my values I learned from, like, business stuff. I don't think it aligns very well with being an employee. There's some, yeah. That was 4 years ago, but my current job in my school is great. Oh, that's great! Hell yeah, let's go, dude. Let's fucking go. I'm glad. We love to see it. I fucking love to see that shit. Let's fucking go. Hell yeah. Jobs, oh man. I feel like with my part-time job, I feel like it's also good to experience, like, oh, how it is to work at a part-time job. I think it's good experience to have. So I'm not like, What do you call it? What do you call it? Not empathy. Humble yourself. I don't know. Because I feel like with my content creation, I feel like, because it's very like, oh, it's very personality driven. It's very like focusing on the creator. Like, I feel like it's going to be easy to become in that kind of bubble. Like, oh, everything's kind of focused around you. It kind of goes to your one because you're your own boss. And you can kind of slack off and da-da-da. I don't know. I feel like being able to work part-time is good. Like, oh, it rounds you out a bit, I guess. If that makes sense. But I like my job. I like my work. Stability. I mean, I like it overall. I think. There are points I really like about it. Some points I don't, not so much. But it could, again, it could be me issue. Just could be me issue. But yeah, that's all I have to say about Nendos and Goatmel's change in packaging for Nendos. These are all the Nendos I currently have, I believe. It's 5, and 3 of them are gifts. 3 of them are gifts are from, I believe, Army Bug. Bless your soul for giving me these gifts. But everything else, I think it was brought by me. I think even this one might be a gift too. I think, because I remember, I wanted the Kamaida pop-up parade in the Sans Nendo, and I was kind of like, "Hey guys, for the funny meme, can you please help me buy the figures?" Teehee. And I believe someone did help cover either Sans or Kamaida. They cover one of these. So this one could be a gift too. I forgot which one was covered. But this one I bought. I bought this one. Dorothy Hayes. I bought this one. And I want to get the Gaza figure. Whenever that gets back around. I don't know. But these are all the Nendos I have. I had other Nendos in the past, but I sold them off because I'm like, you know what? I had my fill. I don't need these anymore. That's a nice thing about figures. I say my Nendos is it secondhand sales. Wow, figures. Great. Secondhand sales. Circular market. Wow. And I saw that they're releasing a Nendo of Kamaida. So I'm going to have him with Sans. I want to get the Kamaida Nendo at one point. I don't know when. I'm broke right now. I mean, you pre-order it, but I don't know how flexible my finances are going to be when a Kamaida comes out. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Anyways, I'm going to end the stream here. We're at 3 hours. I haven't eaten yet. But I'm glad my internet was good today. My internet was good. 9 burps. My internet was great today. That's sick. I'm happy it was good today. Hi, Sideshow. Hello, Mish. There you go. Is that not a burp? Or is that a yawn? It's a yawn. Mish, you need to eat. I will after this stream. I kind of woke up a bit late. I stayed up late because last night I got back home from work. Unfortunately, I don't work in the mornings. I prefer to, when I applied to my job, I was like, can I get morning shift, please? Can I work in the morning? They're like, we need night people. I'm like, oh, I'm not going to argue. I need the job. But morning shift would be preferable because like, that way I have the rest of the day to work on my shit. You know what I mean? But with my current shift, night shift, I get home pretty late. So I ended up staying up last night kind of late, till like 3 or 4 a.m. because I had food. I'm like, you know what? I have a little boost of motivation to work on shit. I got a little motivated, so I'm gonna take advantage of it and and get some work done because I feel like I've been slacking. Because, like, again, when my work takes the whole day, my work kind of, like, my day, if I have, like, a shift at my retail job, that entire day is basically dedicated to work. I don't have much energy for much else because I get home late, and in the morning, I'm getting ready, and also because I can't properly really focus on other things in the morning because I know, like, oh, I gotta go soon for work. I gotta go soon. But at the end of the day, at the end of the night, if I'm done with work, I'm like, okay, I don't have to worry about work. I just have to worry about getting my, I just setting my alarm for the right time, and then I'll wake up and it's a new day. It's now work time. But yeah, so like a lot of the days I have work, I don't work on much else on my own personal work, because like I get home tired. I'm tired, bro. I just want to eat and go to bed. You know what I mean? Maybe play a game of Mario Party with my roommate or some shit. I don't know. Watch some anime while I eat. But it's like, so I do what I can. But last night I stayed up because like I had a little burst of motivation. Like, you know what? I'll get some work done. So I tried to get some personal work done, and I stayed up because of that, and because of that I didn't wake up early enough for the stream to prepare. So I didn't eat. I didn't eat. Yeah, I can't blame you for that, says Sai. I've been tired, very tired due to animation school. Hell yeah! The fact that animation school is pretty sick, though. Let's fucking go. Let's go. And the fact that I have a job, that's sick. Retail job or not, part-time job, that's sick. There's so many people that struggle to even get a fucking entry-level, like, career job. And even just getting a fucking part-time job at, like, a fucking fast food or like, a retail. People are struggling to get that. So... The fact that I'm glad I have my job. It's not ideal. Some things it's not ideal, but a lot of other things are great. So, you know, and everything can be perfect. And I'm learning to work with other people. That's something that I'm learning. That's one of the pros, I think, of the part-time job, is that I'm learning to work with other people. And I'm really kind of struggling a bit, you know, in a sense of like finding a nice balance between me trying to do my own, like, oh, I want to improve company and do this for customer, but also it's kind of inconveniencing other coworkers, because the coworkers like, no, just focus on this, please. Ain't it too deep, man? Just focus on this. Get this done. Get it fast. We need to get this job done. I'm like, oh, okay. Proud of you, but don't neglect your health. Don't what you worry. I brought this, like, I had intentions of eating. I have brought this bowl of grapes with the intention of eating it, like snacking on stream. But I didn't end up doing that because I was too busy focusing on talking and streaming. I see why people eat on streams. I know why. I know that like people dunk on streamers for eating during stream. And sometimes they hyper focus on these clips of like streamers eating and like reacting to content and reacting to videos and be like, wow, streamers are so lazy. They just eat and react to videos and call it a day. Well, it's like, are you just not like hyper fixating on like that one time they're eating? And then being like, wow, this is their entire content. You know what I mean? But like, no, if you're streaming for hours and hours and hours, no, you get fucking hungry. And you need to eat. And sometimes you don't just want to pop out stream. You just gotta eat. Meanwhile, my GF is trying to find a remote job and get back into streaming. God bless. Good luck. Good luck. This goddamn job market is shit. From what I hear from others. It's shit. Thankfully, the past few part-time jobs I've had, I gotten them pretty easily. I didn't have to apply to like hundreds of, you know, just retail part-time jobs. Not saying that like I haven't applied to multiple places in the past, but thankfully the 2 places I have worked at have been pretty simple. I just like, I submitted an application directly to the place. I got an interview, or I got in and I got the job. Thank God, right? So thankfully, I haven't had too much issue. I know before that, I do remember like applying to multiple jobs at one point in the past. Not too many. Not as much as compared to some other people. God bless their souls. But I remember I was applying to some places at one point in time. But yeah, I have a part-time job now. I'm gonna try to stick with it until I can get off, until I make enough with content creation, which I need to hop on. Guys, I like working for myself, guys. I like being able to have control. It is nice. I don't have to really cater to anyone else and like deal with the whole like group of people, what other people say. I mean, granted, it's like I still have to work with people at one point in time. I like commissions. I have to work with people. Collaborations, you know what I mean? I have to work with people in collaborations to find a middle ground. But at least then, we're all kind of like, we treat each other as like our own entities. You know what I mean? I'm not like an employee of someone else and I have to like bend to their will or like shit like that. You know what I mean? Or like kind of not muddy the water or piss in the pool and make someone uncomfortable by like doing something that I believe in. I don't know. There's some people like, wow, I have this struggle at work or my family, and you know, I don't want to rock the boat. I don't want to do this. It's not really worth it. And people like, rock the boat. Say what you want. Get, you know, fight for yourself. Fight for your beliefs. Da 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 da. And it's like, okay, maybe I'll do that, and maybe I'll get the thing I want. Fat maybe. But there's a good chance that if I fight, I'm gonna seem like the problematic employee, right? I'm gonna seem like the problematic person, and there's a chance of me not getting it, and I still seem like a problematic person. I could seem like a problematic person and not even get the thing I want in the end. You know, like maybe if you're lucky, you'll get the thing you want. So maybe it kind of balances out. Maybe it's kind of worth the risk of being the kind of problematic employee. But sometimes it's just like, no, I still believe this is like a better option for like the customer, like, or for like the work or da-da-da. You know, I still feel like this is the better thing, but I don't want to cause trouble for anyone else. You know what I mean? I don't want to cause trouble. But if I work for myself, it's like, bro, it's me. It's all me. You know what I mean? And if I work with a different company, to be like, hey, like I've been thankfully, God, I've been like, it's one of my goals is to guest at conventions, and this has been kind of scary for me because like, ooh, I had to like, now they view me as valuable enough to like guest at conventions and stuff like that. So they're kind of investing in me. You know, I had to, you know, make a good impression. I had to like fulfill their like expectations, you know, and I had to fulfill my end of the bargain, kind of thing. And that becomes its own scary thing. But we kind of like, it's kind of like a mutual thing, right? Conventions are their own entity. I'm my own entity. We're kind of like collaborating, partnering as like two different entities that have our own different values. And if it doesn't work out, we can just like not do it, right? We can just like decline to work together, or if there's things, right? But as an employee, I kind of have to like follow what the upper management says, even if I don't personally agree with what upper management says, kind of thing. You know what I mean? Even if I think it's like at the expense of like maybe the customer or some other thing, I had to go along with it. Or I could fight technically, but then I would seem like problematic. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. But good luck, Parasols, to your girlfriend for trying to find a remote job. God bless. I wish the best of luck. Like my job, the only thing I'm really have to complain about is like, again, kind of friction. Yeah, it's probably because of a me issue. It's a me issue. It's just like different values and stuff. I know, maybe also not being the best employee, but also it's like minimum wage. Minimum wage. It's still than a minimum wage. I'm barely paying rent, guys. Anyways, I should go. I need to eat. I've been here long enough. I've been here for like over 3 hours just talking about goddamn Nendo, like anime figure packaging and other shit I'm rambling about. So I appreciate you guys joining. Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to me ramble off about shit and keeping me company. And just like, I appreciate it so much. It's a small audience, but it's still company regardless. Every single one of you. Thank you so much for being here, for keeping me company and watching and shit. It means a lot to me. It means a lot. I am happy. I'm happy. In order to make a living, I have to increase my viewership. Not just viewership, but you know what I mean. I have to increase my audience to increase my chances of making this as a living. But where I am right now, I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for watching, caring enough about me and my content to listen to me ramble about shit. You guys' time is precious. I'm not a streamer to myself. I feel like it's so much of a time commitment. So the fact that you guys are willing to sit here and watch me, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You guys have helped me keep doing what I'm doing. God bless. Love. Thank you so much. One day I want to be able to do this full time, and because of your guys' help and appreciation, I don't plan to do that. I mean, even if it's not full time, you know, I still appreciate it. But of course, it's like It's something I want to do for a career. You know what I mean? I want to do it for a career. And you guys are helping me get there. And I appreciate it. And I feel like, you know, I feel perceived. Thank you so much for caring about my little funny hee anime figures. Let's talk about the goddamn fucking packaging. Like, who fucking cares about goddamn packaging for an anime figure? Why would you want to listen to me talk about that shit? You know what I mean? Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Bye, guys. I should leave. I'm dragging this off. I'm dragging this on for a while. Thank you so much, guys. Bye. Take care. I hope to see you in the next stream. Thank you. We appreciate you too. Consume food. Yes, I will. I need to consume food. I take care of myself. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye.